Welcome to the flagship, and we got a huge roster here. We got Lizard, previously known as Target, elitekiller, Skyboy, and socomjohn. And this is a podcast response to Peak 53 after hearing those three parts that were released on the channel. People here want to get their side of the story out, so we'll go from Target to Elite to socomjohn and then to Skyboy. And let's start with, or unless Target, I think you told me you had a lot of receipts to show, but we'll wait till the end for that. And let's kind of talk in general on what happened with Peak 53. So let's start out with you, Lizard. What are things you want to get off your chest?
Well, hello everybody, and I just want to start off by saying, you see, four, he's not that smart, but he is crafty. What do I mean by that? Well, he doesn't know how to call himself a game dev is a long stretch. It's more of a bunch of asset. His whole game's an asset flip. Just putting stuff from the marketplace, putting it in his game, sloppily putting it together and calling it a day. Um, Just overall bad person, terrible person, huge liar.
And were you just a
And
gamer on the on Peak 53, or were you involved in any development or social media, anything like that?
so funny enough, actually SOCOM John's video, I think is what actually, yeah, it was SOCOM John's video. I looked at it and it said new SOCOM game. Me being a tactical shooter person and all that, I decided to go in. Oh, also, I'm learning Unreal Engine. I know people in the game industry. I'm actually doing 3D art myself, so I do know quite a few. And I went in there and I told them, I said, hey everybody. I introduced myself and I said, I can help you. I can do it for free because I like tactical projects. Me knowing a lot about the military and guns and all that, and a little bit about game dev. Offer. Uh, it started off. It started off professional and it started off actually well. He conducted himself well, but the problem is that Four has a hard time being transparent. So instead of telling a person yes or no, his favorite response would just be maybe. He always says maybe, 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 and he gets bugged out when people keep asking him, and it's like, dude, if you just tell me yes or no, I'll leave you alone. But when you keep saying maybe, I'll think about it, do this and that, I
So
won't
it's
have.
kind of stringing you along. And I just want to say, if
Yeah.
anyone wants to jump in and comment on whenever anyone's talking, go ahead and feel free to do so. If you want to continue the flow of the conversation like that, we're kind
Oh,
of going freestyle here. So
I would actually like to comment on that. So your experience, right, with four, that's actually similar to what I had when I was working with him. So that's interesting that you said that.
and you're a developer that well, obviously by now people know you're a developer from last episode. But what did you do for four
Oh
on
well,
P?
we could save me for last. I'll just let Target continue because like I don't want
Okay.
to take up his time.
Yeah, before Target continues, I'll also say this. 100% agree with what Target said. Four would always, say maybe or very
Hmm.
open-ended scenarios and not really give you a definitive answer. And his second best thing that he would always say is, ask Poppy. Don't message me, ask Poppy this, ask Poppy that. But then, hey, guess what? Poppy's going to have to ask Four, and then Four is going to tell Poppy to tell me this. And it's just a huge giant circle when it should just be a lot more personal than what he made it. But I'll let Lizard go ahead.
And I agree with that. With what you heard with my interview with him, he really just says that, so thinking that people will leave him alone when saying maybe. But according to Lizard, it's like, no, you're just kind of just pushing them back. And then I guess he doesn't realize they're just going to keep asking him again because he's saying maybe. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
really stupid.
and I get it because like the game is so small, the community is so small, so I think that's why I kind of expected like, you know what, I could ask the lead developer a question and he'll answer it. But instead he tried to act too big than what he actually was. He tried to just put on this persona HR type department, response, very just open ended, and it never felt personal. And when it did feel personal, when you got close enough to feel that personality and learn what 4 is about, the more you were just kind of off put by everything, all his decisions and the way he acted. Once you kind of got down that barrier, it just led to more problems, I guess.
Oh yes.
Okay, do you want to continue, Liz?
So I actually I have 37 points that I have to
Okay, let's go to Elite really quickly then, and
Exhibit A.
yeah, hear what some of the things he was disgruntled with, and anything he wants to bring up.
I'm just listening. Honestly, I haven't been following the game, but I mean, yeah, what you guys said is true. You know, he just says that about like go talk to Poppy, and
He mentioned
doesn't
a
say
lot
no.
of things about you that you wanted to just go
I mean,
to all limits to destroying the project, no matter after you left.
oh well. I mean, yeah, because at that point, like I thought he was a scammer. I still think he's a scammer, and there's lots of reasons we could talk about that. Like you showed the Zero survival thing, he changed it to Zero revive. He looks like he's working on that game again. I don't know. It just, I mean, I could talk about this for like hours, honestly, but I already made videos about it. I mean, I'll kind of join in the conversation when if you guys have questions, but I don't want to just talk. I could talk for like an hour, right? I could talk for like 2 hours.
Is there
I
any?
guess that's why we're here, right? Let it out on the table, brother. Because this is all kind of the video to end all videos. If I'm just being real,
Yeah,
this
you
is
know,
really.
this is it. This is the last nail in the fucking coffin. Hopefully.
Yeah, really. Hopefully, I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna get all these. How about this? I'm gonna get out all these 37 points, and then each of us can touch on
30?
it.
You counted?
Dude,
Why do you have?
I have 50.
let my boy cook.
I'm telling you right now, dude. I came prepared. Look. People are so lucky that there's no like screen share or whatever, because I got like over 50 different screenshots, 37 points. Like, dude.
Well, yeah, this screen share. So if you could stream whenever you're talking about a subject, if you can pull up the picture, just so Stealthy can click on it and everyone will see what
Yeah,
you're talking
you're more
about.
than welcome.
Okay. Well,
just
let me
no
see.
porn shots coming up.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I
So
don't
is
have
this
any of
being
that.
live streamed? I didn't ask, or is this?
No, this is gonna be recorded. I don't know yet if. Well, I'm not gonna edit anything. Maybe just an intro.
Okay.
So it's gonna all be 100% legit, no cutoffs.
That's the best way to do it, man.
So you're
That's
saying
when
that
people
this
know
is
you're
in this?
honest.
What was what was that, Elite?
You're saying that this is all on this?
Yeah, basically. Well, here's the thing. I let everyone get out their points of views. Now, he did mention a lot of things about you, Elite, and a lot of things about socomjohn. So, Elite, is there anything you want to debunk that he said?
All right, let me just do it real quick. I'll share my screen. Okay, you see my screen?
All right, I clicked watch stream.
Okay, well, he said, I mean, the amount I donated doesn't matter, but he said that I didn't donate, or that I only donated to buy keys. So either way, overall, I donated about $1,000, right? That's not that much money. It's fine. I'm not like, that's not why I'm mad about the money. I'm just mad because he was gonna make the game something else, right? He was gonna make it some extraction space shooter or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't gonna be in space, but it was gonna be like futuristic themes. Like you saw the trailer and he started adding like futuristic weapons. I don't know the specific names, but anyways. So one of the things that like pissed me off is that he said I didn't donate anything, or like I only donated for keys. Well, first of all, even if I donated for keys, like when we were in private testing, people had to pay either $30 at first or $35 as a donation to get access to the private testing. So no one was playing. He's like, oh, I don't know why no one's playing. I think I'm gonna have to stop development. And I was like, hey, let's get some keys and let's hand them out. He's like, oh yeah, well it costs $200 for 100 keys. So I was like, fine, I'll buy it.
How is that whole system a scam?
Well, he said that he's like, oh, I know this guy that owns Patch Kit, and he's giving me a deal, but yeah, it's $200 for 100 keys. So I don't know. asked
I
him
remember
to
that. I think you
see
sent me
that.
25 of those. I
Yeah, I
remember
sent
that.
you. I sent you some. I sent Stealthy some. I sent like a bunch of different people some to just give out to people for free, right? So I was kind of pissed that he like tried to like downplay that I didn't donate anything. I mean, I have all the receipts here too if you guys want to look at it. It's in the Discord, but wait, that's not it right here. So 250, like I just sent it to him on Zelle.
So how much
100.
did you donate? You'd say.
I mean, I donated over $1,000, but that's not why I'm mad. I'm not mad
Okay.
because I'm not mad. Like if he tried to develop the game and like no one's playing it, and I lost my money, that's fine. But
You were
he,
just mad he changed to an extraction
yeah,
shooter,
and
or
he
was
was
planning
working on
to.
it. Well,
Yeah.
he said he was working on it for like 3 months, and I'm like, okay, even if you're gonna work on that, just tell the community because people are like coming in the Discord and asking like, oh, what's going on? There's no updates, no one's playing. I'm like, okay, just tell them that you're gonna work on something else then. At least so people aren't fucking waiting.
Yeah.
And like people donated, they want like updates on what's going on, and then people are like asking me, and I'm like having to just not respond about because the NDA or whatever, right? So
Oh yeah, you were the community manager for
I mean, basically,
for the
bro. I
ad.
mean, Pop
I mean,
Poppy's
before tossed around
technically,
NDAs like candy, bro. Like he made everyone sign NDAs. That's
yeah,
how he knew it was shit, bro. Because that he didn't believe in himself. That's why he did all those NDAs.
So
it,
do you think that's why you're saying it's a scam because he moves from one genre to another just to make
yeah. I
money
mean,
off?
No.
look,
I mean, that's
well, that's
one
part of it.
of the
Look,
yeah.
Zero revive, and he's too lazy. He left the Zero survival. Like that's how lazy he is. He doesn't even change the description. He's obviously probably trying to work. Like I'm saying this because this is something he mentioned to me in Eagle when we were in the dev chat, like in voice chat. He's like, yeah, I want to still bring back XIO revive or XIO survival. Like I want to just like reskin it, like make it look like I don't remember what the game's called right now. I'm blanking, but it's like
Pal World, or I
Battle
think you
Bit. He's
mentioned.
like he's like,
Oh,
yeah, I want to make it look like Battle Bit graphics, like just low res. And we're like, what are you talking about, bro? This was like in July of last year before it went off
Probably
the
right
scene.
after Fry's video, right?
Around that time, yeah.
now he
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
hold
that's about it.
3 different Patreons, Kickstarters, private donations.
I got
Yeah,
some receipts on that too.
and
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
that's why
Word.
we say he's a scam, dude, because he promised a certain product and he didn't deliver
Oh,
on that product. And then when
yeah,
he didn't get the people that he wanted playing the game, he'd rather blame the community. Like he'd rather blame Elite for not promoting enough. He'd rather blame me for not making a video that week. Blame everyone else. But like every single time he updated the game, it got worse. People had more fun in the beginning of when he first
oh, I
started out.
agree. Hmm.
Yeah. People had fun in the beginning, bro, because it felt like a nice game, and that's when they had running and everything. And the more he updated the game, the more everyone hated it, and that's a clear example. He's not a developer. He's a salesman.
yeah, he is, and he's a good salesman. He's like
He is 100%. Yeah.
he gets people on his side, and then like the old people start to notice, and then the new people come in, and then he paints the old people as crazy.
And
Oh,
then
Yeah.
bans them.
that's what
Have
he
you
And
did
let's
guys?
to
be
me.
honest,
Yeah,
we're all desperate, bro. Like SoCommers are desperate, so it's easy for him to manipulate people. Like he manipulated me, Elite, Lizard, Skyboy. We're all desperate for a new SoCom, so he just took advantage of that.
And
And
that's
I
yeah,
what
wouldn't
brought the
say
game.
desperate. I was more interested
I mean, I was
because
desperate. I'll admit it, bro. Like I was 100% desperate for a
bro.
new
We
I
third
were playing
person.
was
every week.
yeah, I was more in the realm of like lied to in terms of what I was hired to do.
Yeah, why don't you
Uh
explain that? Because he said he wasn't planning on a different game mode, and you told me something else.
yeah, so I was like so first off I was hired to do UI, right? And HUD changes and stuff because he was looking for someone like that. And um
Also,
I
I just want to
offered
say
him.
you got
Hmm?
hired right after the Kickstarter, just to make that clear. That was like the money was supposed to be used to make a SOCOM type game. I want to interrupt you.
Right, yeah, right. And I was bring on board to just do UI stuff and like help because he came to me saying that, "Oh, hey, I'm having issues with this project. I need UI elements and since your area of expertise is, game development stuff in general and things like that." I'm like, "Sure, I could do this as a hired contractor to get that stuff done." And then I offered to help him solve a lot of his problems, right, with his game design documents and everything, and like just come up with better ideas for him on top of that. And he said that, like, yeah, I want to be able to transform the game from being just a SOCOM clone and make it more transformative, right? And I'm like, okay, I could do that for you. Just is that what we're going to be doing? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went out of my way to actually make an entire signed document of these changes and actual updates to certain systems, or add content that made sense for that kind of transformative things, with it keeping in spirit of SOCOM. Because that's what he was looking for, or that's what he told me he was looking for. I basically offered, like, hey, let's try doing an additive loot style system of giving transfer properties to weapons to add like a gearing system to give more of like that kind of aspect to the game, to give it more flavor, without it being affecting actual hardcore gameplay of SOCOM. So it's like these modifiers to your weapons don't really matter too much. It's more of like just added abilities. So like maybe you have a stock rifle that uh, with a red dot scope that gives you, you know, that ability to do a quick aim or something like that. But that's it. It doesn't actually change damage or anything crazy like that. And I thought of like components like, oh, maybe you can bring on board equipment like that, or like side equipment that, oh, if you bring a radar, right, you have access to that radar, but you still have to give out callouts. Only you have access to that. So then someone with a radio command communication kind of thing. And then keeping it more tactical, right? Because that's the whole idea I was going with, is making these tactical items that you can change up with your loadouts and stuff.
So whose
However,
decision was it to make the UI, the aimer like that? Was that you that updated the game to do
no,
that?
so whatever UI that he changed it to, that was like because I don't know what it was, because I left before any changes went public or stuff like that. But I originally wanted to give the UI a tactical update, so that way you have information at what you're looking at. So you have like the distance read, right? You can see your ammo counter, and stuff like that, where it's like all tactical information is also near your crosshairs. And I thought of doing it that way, so that way people can have the choice to have either that turned on or turned off. So like if they want to have just the straight old school style, right? Nothing there, or they want more tactical information, they would have been a toggleable option there.
Okay, the
Uh,
reason why I asked is because he blamed you for messing up the aiming system and making that huge circle that kind of
no, I
blocked the.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't do no huge circle or anything like that. What I did was I took the original crosshairs and I separated them into separate material functions, so that way you can actually change what they do based on the distance of the actor. I think he didn't even decide to utilize that and do something completely different. And what I had was like a whole material based system where it's like you can change the crosshairs based on just the material. So it's completely material based, and it was really cool because then you're controlling it all through the material rather than through the Unreal Engine's widget system. So it's like it makes it more modular that way. Um,
So how did he
I'll,
screw you over? How did he Did he just fire you? Say you're done?
so he didn't screw me over. It's more of like, since he decided to change the idea of what I was being hired to do and say, "Oh no, this is not what we're doing. We're just making a SOCOM clone," because that's what he like out of nowhere just told me after I did my changes and presented it to him. He's like, "No, no, no. See, we're just making a SOCOM clone. We're not going to do these radical changes to the formula." And that was after uh he got feedback from people complaining that uh it was not exactly SOCOM kind of thing. And I told him, well, we'll just offer two versions of the same game, just use toggleable option booleans. So it's like you have a game mode that plays pure SOCOM, right? No changes, nothing. And then you have the option to play the modern version of it with just tweaks and gameplay things. So that people of both crowds and communities of newcomers can enjoy the game and the old dogs, right? But
Yeah.
because he like completely went like 180 and like no, we're going to be 100% SOCOM clone, right? I'm like okay, but I wasn't brought on board to just make a SOCOM clone.
Well,
So
that's the
I'm
thing.
just
Uh,
hmm
well, the piggyback off of what you said, for starters, a lot of this is something that I fail to understand when it comes to people, these indie devs trying to make a SOCOM successor.
right.
Successor means it is that game, but in your own way. What does that
Yeah.
mean? If I say, hey, I'm making a Ghost Recon successor, I'm making a Rainbow Six successor. That means that everything that's in Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six, including single player, is going to be in the game. And that's what he failed to understand was the reason why
hmm
SOCOM was so successful was yes, the multiplayer was fun and the multiplayer was successful, but it was the fact that it was based on Navy SEALs and their actual operations going out and the kinds of tactics they done implemented in a video game. They went as far as to actually go to the military bases and have advisors literally tell them and enact certain situations for the game. And that was my problem with four. It was like, dude,
hmm
you're you're literally missing one half of the game.
Yeah, he didn't even understand what he was trying to make basically, because like uh he want because like if he was marketing it as a successor, right? Yeah, you're completely right. He's basically missing one half of that game because multiplayer aside, right? If you don't have the actual military knowledge that the guys that made the game right acquired, you're missing that other half because if it's just a multiplayer game, then it's not a successor. It's just a clone or a copycat at best. And the
Yeah.
thing
That's
is, and the thing is there's tons of those already in the marketplace. And what I was trying to offer to Four was a solution to bring both the new crowd and satisfy the old crowd, based on the changes that I was presenting to him.
Can I
Um,
can I jump
mhm,
in after you're done?
yeah. Well, you can jump in now if you want.
Well, okay. So remind me exactly what you were working on because what I remember is first of all, at the time that you were working on this stuff, the game was like totally broken. You know, I don't
Yeah,
think
there
you
was
could
a
make
lot of
your own
missing
room
stuff.
still. Like, you would your gun wouldn't reload. We had like a bunch of like stuff like necessary that needed to be fixed right away. And then I remember there was an update made. It's like, oh, you're gonna have different weapon variants. Like one's gonna be like rusted, and one's gonna be like, do you know what I'm talking about? Was that something that you worked on, or was that someone else?
Okay, so I didn't do weapon variations. What I offered him was essentially what you would get from Diablo is weapon rarities.
Yes, that's what I'm
Uh,
talking about.
the weapon rarity system was meant to actually just enhance the newer players' experiences to be able to like enjoy more of collecting gear and increase the replayability of the game. It wasn't meant to be like a whole alternating skins or anything like that. It was just meant to be like more of attribute based kind of thing and
So it
functionality
would
of your
change how the
weapons.
gun works, though.
Yeah, in certain cases it would.
Okay, so that is fine if he wants to go and I'm gonna be on the side of the SOCOM people because I'm gonna say, yeah, he's making SOCOM successor, and you guys are saying one half is the military part, which is true, and he doesn't have any of that.
Hmm.
But the other half is the gameplay, and at that early on in development, people want the gameplay to be like
Right.
SOCOM. So when you're talking about, oh, I'm gonna make different weapon variants with different attributes, and we're like, oh, our gun doesn't even shoot properly. I'm shooting this guy
Oh
30
yeah,
times to
yeah.
the back, and
And,
he's not taking damage. So that's why people were frustrated with
hmm
that
and that's
situation.
the thing is like I this was just a suggestion, right? The system was only like I wrote it up just to suggest these changes. I wasn't expecting him to like, oh, we're gonna just implement it right away, kind of thing,
Mhm.
because, like you said, there was already issues with people unable to reload, server issues, and that's the thing. Going with that, he had the entire code base was completely fucked, and I'm like, what the hell's this? Thankfully, I'm not the guy handling any of that. I was just the HUD guy, right? For the bit I was for that. Going back to why I was hired contract, right? I was hired to do the UI HUD, the main menu rework, which I don't think he ever implemented. Um, and I basically what ended up happening is I did my work, and I'm like, look, since I'm not being hired to do what you wanted me to do originally, which was to give you transformative ideas and update stuff for you, and you just want to fall back to just being another clone, then I'm going to just part ways with you. I'm going to finish my work and just, go my own way.
Were
I
you
did that.
paid for your
Yes.
work? Oh,
Yes, I
do you
was.
mind discussing, or could you give us a number, or that's private?
I can give you the number, but I think it's
If you're
going to
worried
probably.
about his NDA, dude,
Or-
don't even worry.
how
Oh
did-
no,
Oh,
I'm not. No.
Four can't afford a fucking cheeseburger from McDonald's, let
Nah,
alone a lawyer to
okay.
actually do anything, dude.
So
if you
Did
did
you
sign, you
promise
don't have to.
I did sign an NDA, and he tried to use that to.
Me too, bro. I signed.
Yeah,
he
he tried to.
probably
Yeah,
Target, dude. Everyone
did he
in
try
here,
to threaten
dude.
you with? Yeah, did he try to threaten legal action too?
No, because
Not
I
to
don't.
me.
Honestly, maybe like I might have got an email from him, but to be honest,
Yeah.
from day one, I've been vocal about it. Elite can attest to it. Where I've always been vocal. I was like, dude, you don't have money for a lawyer. You don't have anything. What are you going to try to say? You're not going to go to court for
No.
it.
Also, the
He's
thing
not
is the
that
fact,
organized.
right, and the fact that he changed the product's name and the entire game basically nullifies that NDA. So it's like there's nothing he can really do now. Anyways, but
Yeah,
the
exactly.
reason why I might be hesitant to say the number is because I feel really bad that I got paid, and knowing the fact after the fact that he ripped off people with the Patreon money and all that, and that's the money he paid me with. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, I feel bad
Kickstarter.
that I literally took that money. I got paid for it, but everyone else gets a terrible product, and it's like, and so he paid me, right? And I'm going to say the number anyways. He paid me, I think, I think 2K, 3K or something like that.
That does
Out of-
line up. He
out of-
told me he paid you
Out of like
2,000.
11K or
Yeah,
something.
to 2,000 or something like that. And I got paid that, right? And thankfully I did, because he was going to Jew me, right? He was going to be like, oh, hey, I'll pay you later. But because I told him, look, I only work if I get paid up front, that's how I got lucky with that. And I don't know if that was his own trust or whatever, but who cares on that? Thankfully I did get that payment first before I started working, to then realize he's not the type of person that I want to actually work with, kind of thing. I mean, I did the work, I finished my end of the deal, and I part ways. Then afterwards, he tried to say, "Oh, you didn't finish the work. What are you doing? You're sabotaging me. All this bullshit kind of thing." And I'm like, "Dude, what the hell? The work's there.
So
I
he
gave
made up
you
things to
everything."
kick you off the project, even though you're gonna leave anyway.
Yeah. And then I guess I guess later on, I don't know if he tried to blame me for any of his issues.
Well, I mean, you're being blamed. You got hired to do something else than what the Kickstarter was for, and then when he tried to implement it and the community got mad at you, then
Yeah.
he blamed you, and then he wanted to kick you off. So he wasted the money on you. It's not your fault, but he chose to do that and try to make a game differently when the money was supposed to be specifically for that. So
Yeah,
And just like
that's
you, dude, like
Mhm.
all the people that he ever hired, he talked shit about after. But he did it
Yeah.
like not in DMs, which I would respect a little bit more, but he did it publicly. It's just why. You're always a good guy. You never started anything. But I feel like it was almost like a continuous thing where he always pointed the finger at somebody and just dragged their name through the mud publicly.
Yeah,
And if you said anything, you were banned or muted.
yeah, and my experience over the years of working with multiple teams and different things like that, I've already had my fair of experience of getting my name run through the mud. People saying, "Oh, this, that about me and shit like that. So it's nothing new, right? Because it's like, oh well, you're not the first, buddy.
Yeah, he did mention that you ruined all his name tags in the code, and you mixed stuff all around where he couldn't find it, and he couldn't like basically control F search it because the spelling was all wrong. And then he did mention, like I said, he paid you 2K, and then he did say you made the aimer the way it was before Monarch came out.
No,
So it's good to
Dude,
hear
he was
the
fired.
story set straight.
hold
I was
on.
fired way before
That
that.
that was like 2 months later that the crosshair changed. That was all four and Nate Dogg. They
Let
put
me
that in the dev chat, and I was like, that doesn't look good, bro. And then they
Yeah,
Oh,
like
it's
okay. He blamed
yeah.
you for it.
So
it's
I
he
know he
blames a
blamed me
lot of
for
people,
yeah, he blamed
but
me for
like
shit that I wasn't even there.
Okay, so
exactly.
I want to move to SOCOM John because I got a
Oh
question
yeah,
for him. In the podcast, he mentioned you by name that he had to ban you because every day you'd be messaging him and
Mhm.
wanting answers, wanting to know things when they took a break during the holidays, and that you
Yeah.
used sending them mugs, for example, as kind of a way in and to be able to hassle them, basically. Do you debunk these things they talked about? Were you doing any of that?
Well, I can attest, I was messaging him every day. We had he knew my personal phone number, I knew his. So if he didn't answer me on Discord, I just assumed that he was busy, so I text his phone. Maybe I can come off as, I know Elite and Target can probably attest to this too. I am a little pushy when it comes to the messages. If you don't answer me back, I get on top of it because if there's not a reason for you not to message me back, I get kind of get curious. I'm like, what's going on?
That's
So
very understandable.
yeah, so I was pressuring him a little bit, but nothing like where it's weird because he was what I thought was a good friend, and he stopped playing. I think around it was I think November or even earlier before that,
After the
not of this
wisdom
year,
thing, right?
yeah, after the wisdom thing, he kind of took a break. He never came back to the game. Every week I'd ask him like, "Hey, what's going on?" Trying to get an update just so cuz people are asking me, like what's going on with Peak, and he didn't really give me an answer. So, I knew he was going through some financial stress and everything, the game, and he quit his job to kind of do that full time, or at least he says. I don't know anything anymore, but
You don't know what's
so
true or what.
I don't know, I just it's tough, but like kind of answering back to it, I pressured him a little bit, but I thought he was a friend. I thought he felt mutual to the point where, he could tell me things, tell
So
me if you're taking a break or tell me if you're doing this, tell me how you're really feeling. And then the mugs, I mean, I just sent that to him because I've known them for a year, dude. The only game I was playing for about a year and a half was Peak 53. And I was
Yeah,
talking
and
to 4 every day. I was talking to Elite every day. I felt like this was a good community I wanted to be a part of. So I sent them like a couple of mugs. And they're not it's not like it's $100 mugs, they're $30. I custom edited it. I said like little quotes on the bottom like, "Hey, you and Poppy are perfect partners. I'm glad to be a part of the community," and something like that. But I don't know. I just don't know where he's coming from. It's just I think that's a salesman in him where he's seeing the worst in people and because that's what he would do in that scenario. He's seeing himself in other people where oh they're doing that because of this. Oh, he's sending me a mug because he's trying to connect with me more and he's trying to get no. Some people are just nice, and some people just do things because you know what? I got a little extra money during Christmas, and 4, I appreciate what you're doing, so here's a mug. But
so
for
uh
him, he's thinking, oh, he's sending me this because of an alternate motive.
so did you delete him off a friend list and that caused the
Yeah,
banning, or
so
did he
that's the
delete
crazy, right?
you, or what happened there?
He he banned me because so what happened was he so I tried to go on Discord one day. I took like a week break and I messaged him and it didn't go through. So I went to the Peak 53 Discord and I was like, "Hey, 4, what's happening? I used to be able to message you. I can't do it anymore. What's going on?" And he didn't answer that. So then I went to his personal phone this is not me like back to back to back. I'm waiting like a couple hours, and I'm like, dude, your whole life is the computer. I know you've seen this. So I kind of message him, and I was like, what's going on? And apparently he initially muted me or didn't allow me to DM him because he thought I removed him from Steam.
And you
Which I don't
didn't.
even know how to do that, bro. Like I mean, even if I did, it's probably because he didn't have his name exactly as 4. But like I never did it out of like malice or, trying to get under his skin. Cause I mean it's Steam, bro. Like you have my personal phone number, but you're getting mad I'm deleting you on Steam, dude. Like so instead of messaging me or uh texting me and say, yo, socomjohn, I seen I'm not your friend anymore on Steam. What's going on? He didn't do that, bro. And that's 4's biggest problem, dude. If 4 feels offended in any type of way, he's gonna go straight to like DEFCON 5. There's no like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like you're either with me or you're against me. And if you're not with me, I'm cutting you off. And then that's what happens. That's all his drama. Every single thing that happened. I mean, besides him being drunk and swearing at, supporters, his biggest weakness is taking everything to heart so quickly. And I feel for him because I used to do that, dude. I still have trouble. Oh, Target, your mic's going crazy.
Oh shit, sorry.
It's all good. I still have trouble with that nowadays, bro. Sometimes something happens online, you take it too seriously. It's hard to see like the meaning over text, unless you're in a voice chat. Sometimes you take text the wrong way.
That's true.
I've done that, bro. But he never gave anybody the benefit of the doubt. And Elite got kicked, which I feel bad for Elite because I think for the first 2 weeks it was like Elite got banned. And then me and Elite started talking about why he got banned. And then we became friends. And then a week after he got banned, I got banned. And I felt like I should have stuck up for him maybe a little bit sooner because I didn't know what was going on. But then I kind of seen it. It was like 4 was just falling apart, dude.
Yeah,
Everything was falling apart.
if you weren't kissing ass or giving him all good feedback, and even if you gave him bad feedback and he shut you down, if you didn't reverse your claim or whatever, he would just like not listen to you anymore, and eventually, if you got on his chest about it, he'd ban you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you want my honest feedback, bro, like why his official statement, at least to me, he probably has changed it 5 times from now. His official statement is at least to me, he said, I banned you because you defriended me on Steam. But if you want my real answer why I think he banned me is because he probably seen me and Elite in a voice chat or talking through Discord. And I would let Elite, voice his concern in my Discord. I would let him post a video if he wanted to. And then I think maybe 4 just thought that was betrayal.
No,
And it was just,
I can tell you
right
why.
off the bat.
He just doesn't
Please.
like you, bro. That's just
I
the
mean,
truth.
that too,
Like,
100%.
no, it's
So
nothing
was
about
he
Got the
using you for
points.
followers and all the people you were bringing into the game?
Yeah,
Because you were
obviously.
bringing in a lot
Oh,
of
100. And I even knew it too, but like when I sent him the mug, that's when I finally thought we were over it because me and 4, we butt heads the whole time, dude. The whole time. But it was almost like this fake love where he put on a good persona. He knew what I liked, he knew how to talk, he knew how to do this and do that. But then the whole time I just found out he's screenshotting everything I say, so you can never, be real with him. Because everything you say, even if people are vulnerable at times and they'll say stupid things, they'll do stupid things, they'll be angry and be like, hey, what the fuck, dickhead, what's going on? And then, 12 hours from now, they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry I said that, man. But 4 doesn't give you that chance. He screenshots what you say. He pokes the bear. And then once the bear retaliates, he screenshots it and then saves it in his little fucking folder. And then wants to pin it on you, really.
Well,
Everything is your fault.
I'm gonna add on to this. I think everything you said about 4 was true, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend as if you don't act the same way. I mean, we were supposed to do a podcast together with Target, aka Lizard, and I messaged you saying I didn't want to do it, and then you're like, "Okay, I don't want to talk to you anymore," basically. And you
Well,
blocked me
that's
before.
interesting.
No.
You bring that
So,
up because
so what happened
Hippie.
with that, bro?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So I didn't say I didn't want to talk to you anymore. I kind of like I was saying previously, it's hard to kind of get the gist of what people are saying over text. And we were like good friends for a while.
When you
And when I
blocked,
read,
that's what
well,
happened.
I couldn't. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you because I was talking. What'd you say?
I said you blocked me. That's what happened. It wasn't even that you didn't want to do the
Well, no,
block.
no. I mean, you're not let me explain my situation, which I understand if you're still mad, but I mean, I'm gonna speak my piece no matter what. So what happened was, I'm tell you exactly what I felt. I read when you said, "I understand if you don't want to be friends anymore," and I'm not gonna go into the whole scenario with Lazy Titan and everything. It's like when I read that, I was like, "Why? Why would you even say that?" I didn't think it was that big of a deal to like when you said, "Oh, I understand if you don't want to talk to me and be friends anymore." I was like, "Why? Like, why would you even assume that I don't want to talk to you? Why would
Alright,
you assume that, I don't want to be
so
your
Right.
friend?" And
get
it's
get
just,
into
I think it
voice,
got too,
guys.
it got too much to the point where I think you felt a certain way, justifiably. I'm not gonna sit here and deny your feelings, bro, or say you were in the wrong. I'm definitely not doing that.
It goes
I'm
back
just,
to
I'm
your
just thinking there
text.
was no. I'm just thinking. I think there was miscommunication. And
Well,
that's the thing that happens with Discord all the time where,
here's what I'm trying to
Elite, I
say
want
though,
you to know, dude, like, I have no animosity towards you.
bro.
I think it was
You
just
have me
tough.
blocked. What are you talking about? Wait, that's not the.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
because
you're.
I'm at the point in my life, dude, where if I feel anything negative and it's draining on me and I'm taking time out of my day to read this and I'm feeling bad and I don't want to bring that into my work. I don't want to bring that into
Here,
my relationship. So
here's
I
the point
just
I'm trying to make.
choose to disconnect myself, you know?
Here's the point I'm trying to make. I agree with everything you said about four, but at the same time, I'm not gonna just sit here and just like trash for everything. There were situations where I felt you were in the wrong, and I didn't watch all of Stealthy's podcasts. I don't know everything he said about you or whatever, but that's the only point I'm trying to make. Like I've experienced it, other people have experienced
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah, yeah. No, I thought you were talking about
I'm
what
not I'm not just
happened to
bringing
you because no, 100%. Like just like you said, I'm not gonna sit here and I'm also not gonna sit here and let people get misled about what happened between me and you. But I'm also gonna be man enough to be like, you know what? Did I do a lot of things where I stepped on a lot of toes? 100%, 100%. But I live and I learn. I'm a better man today than I was yesterday. But nothing I ever did can justify Thor's action for how he treated me, how he manipulated some of these conversations, and
And that's what we want to
and
hear about from
yeah,
Lizard
that's really
next.
what it is.
He's queuing up to reply,
Go
and he
ahead.
does want to continue sharing his screen if you guys don't mind.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I just gotta say one last thing. I mean, because I knew it was gonna happen. Socom John, the big bad guy, and I agree with it a lot, bro. I was kind of learning as I go. Some people saw me as a content creator first, and they saw me as a person last, and that's got to me a lot of times. A lot of times, I felt territorial about my community, and the older I get, the more I'm kind of realizing you got to let go. You can't really be like that, and you catch more. What is it? You catch more bees with honey than vinegar. I understand these things, but I stepped on a lot of toes, like Lizard in here. I stepped on your toes, Elite. I stepped on your toes, but I know for a
Hey,
fucking fact, all of us in here are not completely innocent. Some of us more guilty than others, but I don't think it does any fucking justice to point fingers at other victims when we're just trying to explain our situation about four.
yeah, I agree. As far as me and you, not really mad about anything really anymore.
Yeah, no, like I hold no animosity towards people. I could like I said, Elite, maybe you're blocked still. I don't know if you're blocked, but that's how I had to deal with things, bro. I used to let things control me, bro. Like people would say anything about my YouTube videos or if I felt wronged, and that's why
Mm,
I can comment on For's situation and be like, that's what he's doing because you can't bullshit a bullshitter. 2 years ago, I thought like Four did. I did what Four did. I was like Four did, but that dude's what, like 4 years older than me, and I'm learning. I'm almost a 30-year-old man now. I'm not the same I was in 2022 when we first started playing this, or 2021. It's different. Everything is different, and
Oh man, you're
I'm
making
sorry if
me
you guys feel
feel
different.
old.
yeah, that's
No, but,
cool.
but if I just wanted to get on my chest. Elite, I respect you. Lizard, I respect you. Anyone that's listening to this, if you ever felt wronged by me, your feelings are probably justifiable.
Yeah,
But
but
I never did anything to try to hurt somebody. I never said anything to try to hurt somebody. It's just I let my feelings kind of take control sometimes. And when I'm feeling attacked or anything like that, I kind of block it and I step back for a little bit. But I think I have that privilege because I'm not making a game. I'm not doing this. I'm just a guy on here making videos on YouTube for free. And if I feel any type of way and I feel, like I'm being attacked, or if I feel like this is going to spread negativity to my other things in life, relationship, work, I'm not going to let that take a hold, bro. So sometimes if, you got to block somebody, step away, and it is what it is. Because if I didn't block you, Elite, or if I didn't block Lizard or anybody else, who knows what we would have said, the things that we maybe would regret, But it's
yeah.
tough to say what it is.
Mhm.
It is what it is, I
Thank you
guess.
for that, socomjohn. I definitely want to get back to you on questions about Hippie, but go ahead
Oh
and pull it up,
Jesus.
Blizzard, your stream,
Yeah.
and let us know what you want to show us.
Yeah, let it out.
Yeah. Last thing before I move on. I have not blocked anybody. Like, despite any of the arguments, I to this day have not blocked anybody. So y'all not blocked.
You're old school.
No, I'm not like that at all. Like, I've been through enough shit to, like, I don't block people. I just don't.
I mean, I hope
Anyway,
that's not a dog at me because that just sounds like it a little bit.
no, it's not a dog. I don't block people at all. Like, I've heard both of y'all say that. But it's whatever. Anyway, so
Okay.
well, I already did my intro. Number two, I have 37. I'm gonna go through these fairly quick. I'm not
Do you
gonna
want to
spend a
share
lot of
your
time.
screen, or do you want to go through
Um,
the list and then show us something?
yeah,
You mentioned you wanted to show something.
I'm gonna share screen. Hold on. Podcast discussion, screen share. There we go.
And this is a list you wrote down of. And I guess why did you write this list down? Is it for
Oh,
this
I wrote
podcast, or
because
you've been holding
me,
this for?
me and SOCOM was supposed to do a podcast, but long story. So essentially, um, this right here. Well, this is not what I really want to show, but this right here is because what I did was I would just stay in his. I wouldn't say nothing. I'd just stay in his Discord, and I just like I was basically a spy. I just screenshot everything that was out of pocket, essentially. Let me go ahead and
In the admin section or public?
public. This right here, if you can see it, can you see that?
Not anymore.
Yeah, it just went
uh,
away though.
it was up.
I don't know. Screen sharing is fucking.
Share your whole screen. You're sharing an image.
And of course, feel free to jump in, comment on anything you want, while
Okay.
on whatever Lizard shows or talks about.
Or let me see. How do
Do
I
you know how
share?
to share?
Oh, there we go. Is it there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now we got your screen.
Yeah.
Let me
So
just mute
essentially,
you so
like,
there we go. I don't get the echo.
let me,
Uh,
what the actual hell?
We see your screen.
There we
So
go. Key. You see it now still?
yeah, we see all our names. We see the Discord.
You see the screenshot too?
No.
no. So you're probably sharing just the Discord app. So you want to share entire screen.
So share screen.
It says applications. You gotta go to screens. It says
Yeah, yeah.
screens. On the top
Uh,
says application screens, capture devices.
This kind of tells us your age, right, Lizard?
no, I'm not old. I'm actually not old at all. I am
Oh,
not old at all. Yeah, I
Do you
just
know how to do
sound
it or not?
old. I have an old voice, but I'm not old. How do I do
how
it?
old are you, if you don't
Buy
mind me
screen-
asking? I'm
buy screen
36,
real
by the way.
quick.
25.
Are you watching
Oh
my
wow,
screen?
you're younger than me.
Yeah, I'm closer to I'm closer to your age of 30.
Yeah,
Lizard,
so,
you watching my screen?
hold
You want me
on.
to
Yeah, I
watch?
am.
Oh, you're
Click this
talking.
I am.
button.
What's up?
Click this button and then press. Oh, and then you're gonna press share, and it's gonna say screens right here. You're gonna click screens, and then
Screens.
share your screen, and then click on one of the screens and then share it. Go live.
Okay, so go down to
Skyboy, I think you're
screen,
echoing.
screen
Your
one, go live. Y'all can
Yeah.
see it now.
Yeah.
just minimize Discord.
Cool. Y'all see it?
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is screenshot. It's right here. Screenshot 80. This
Is
was
it?
me. This is me just introducing myself. You
Make
know,
it bigger so
Yeah,
we
can you
can
make
read.
it full screen?
Yeah, it's a bit zoomed.
We can't read it. That's why it's like
Just
blurred.
zoom in like you did before.
When you maximize, it should look better.
You might just need to send him the photos. You might need to edit that after the fact.
edit what?
Wait,
Like
open
add in the photos in the video editor after.
open Discord again. It says that you can't see because you minimized it.
Oh my god.
I think you're sharing the application, not the actual whole screen. Or is that
Dude.
what?
I don't know.
Either way,
It
if you want
says-
Lizard, just mention what was talked about, and then you can send me the screenshots. And like socomjohn said, you can put them into the.
Yeah,
edit
you
into
just splice
that.
them in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
all
you
the
know, okay.
important shit, definitely.
Yeah,
Alright,
so
cool.
just talk about the screenshot and what you're seeing in front of you.
Alright.
Read it to us and exactly, like, kind of summarize it. Tell us your point because it looks like this goes on for a long time, and I saw.
Yeah, and everyone's
whole
gonna
list.
believe you, bro. Because if people don't believe you and believe 4 over you, they're shitheads. I'm just gonna put that out there, dude.
But
You
either
could hate me, love
Yeah.
me, block me if you need to, but we believe you, bro. So just speak your truth, bro.
Yeah, and I'll show the screenshots. I'll post them all in order as you talk.
Nice.
Send it in
Okay,
the
cool.
group
Now
chat.
that I know, that's dope. So essentially, this was a screenshot right here, essentially saying that, hey, you know, what's up? I have the skills. You know, I want to work for you, blah blah. Do it for free. I just want to help, you know, and then I want to do map stuff and all that. And then we was talking, and then he says we will see, and then he says, yeah, man, kind of busy, blah blah blah. After that, he just straight up read, like he didn't want to do shit at all. Like he just after that he didn't care. Like he just stopped.
Oh.
He just stopped messaging. Yeah. And then I have a whole bunch of screenshots about his Discord, and essentially, so I'm just gonna go off of the list I have and not the screenshots. I'll just send the screenshots and all. But number 3 for his former game. Um, he, we all know about his former game. So in the
Dune?
Veil. No, Zeo Survival. Big
Oh.
Fry made a video about it.
There was a previous game before that called Dunes, but sure. So Zeo, survival. Yeah, that was a survival game that Big Fry made the video and mentioned that it was a girlfriend working with him, or that
It was Poppy.
you think
It
it
was
was Poppy. They claimed that it wasn't her, or she claimed it wasn't her, and it was someone else, a different person at the time. What makes you
Dude.
believe it was Poppy?
Dude, I would describe it like this. Poppy's the strategic one, Forge the retarded one. So they're both the same. They're literally both pieces of shit, but she knows how to control herself and Ford doesn't. That's how I would best describe the whole situation.
Yeah, I kind of figured
I
that
don't
that's
know.
how it
I
is.
don't know.
Yeah, I
I
got
got
this like.
rebuttal a little bit to that.
Well, let me add to that. Yeah, I kind of figured that was more of like the whole situation with my experience with both of them, of what I could tell. Poppy, basically knew how to handle things a little bit more appropriately. I mean, she's the one who reached out to me to talk about the whole situation I had with him, whereas he decided to do more of like, not professional way of handling things.
Yeah. And
So yeah, so the little thing I had to
mm,
say where sorry, Lizard, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the little
go
thing
ahead.
where it's like I don't think she's like a piece of shit, but I think he, we all know Four is very manipulative, and I think she was just kind of sticking by her partner, and also Four,
Hmm.
She kind of just attached herself
Mm.
with a hook onto Four, and Four was just like, oh, okay, honey, this way, we're going to make a video game. Okay, you're gonna quit your job, I'm gonna quit my job, and she hung her hat on something that she hoped would make it. You know, everyone hopes that they can make a game and be financially stable. And I think she was just in a desperate situation. And I've always said this, where are you going to agree with it? You know, if you're in Poppy's situation, are you going to agree with socomjohn? Are you going to agree with elitekiller? Or are you going to agree with Four? So, you know, he's not mad at you. We don't have to live with Four, dude. We could log off and be like, you know what, Four, I'm done talking to you. Poppy's got to live with that guy. She's got
I
to rely on that
Oh
guy for
yeah.
like financial stability. She's got to rely on him to order pizza and pay for
Yeah.
it. You know, like, so
I
I don't think she's a piece of shit, but I think she was just dragged into a horrible
Nah, I
situation.
think she's a
I th-
fucking piece of
uh,
shit, bro.
yeah,
She is.
I mean,
I
can you
think
verify on that? Like, just
I
like,
can
why
tell
do
you
you,
why.
especially
I can
elite,
tell you
like,
why.
well,
yeah,
hold on,
let's
Tell you
hold
hear
why.
it,
on,
bro.
hold on. Let me wait before anyone
Go
gets
ahead. Go
any
ahead.
more further. You know, I gotta say that's more of like an optimistic viewpoint on the whole situation, which is, it's more human to think about it like that. But it's like, uh, in all,
I just hope it, dude, because she has a
uh,
daughter, so it's like I pray
oh
she
well,
thinks that
yeah,
way, you
but
know?
Yeah, bitch, good
you
fuck.
know,
She's good, right?
well,
All
here's
right.
the thing. Here's the thing. It's like, you can't per se on either end, right? You don't really know because we don't live with them, right?
Oh yeah, you never
But
know. It could be Poppy, the whole brains behind the situation, you
right.
know?
But
Yeah.
the way I look at it is more from actual, like, uh from a perspective of like what's realistic, right? But people always have their own motives. Everyone has their own motives. So it's like, I think it's more of, she knows what she's doing. She's very manipulative, right? And what Target said, right? She's just handling it better than Four. I think they're both in on it. I don't think they're in a desperation situation, right? You just have to look at how they're handling the whole scenario. They keep hopping over to different game to game genres, and changing up the formula and selling it like snake oil. And it's like, yeah, if they're in a desperate situation, they wouldn't be doing something like that. They would be handling it completely different. They would be, this sounds more of like a schemer, right? They just pyramid scheme after another after another. Oh, it didn't work out. Make people forget about it. Change the minds of the community. Update them on a new scheme while selling them another snake oil product.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Here's what I have to say. I agree with. Well, I don't know if that's exactly. I don't know if she's involved in it that deep, like with all the previous games. I know she was somewhat involved with XIO. At least that's what a Forrest friend told me. That worked on another game with him, the Dunes game. But here's why I would say Poppy is a piece of shit in my mind, is because I heard this little part from Stealthy's podcast, or I guess she said that, like, oh, I made the video calling for a scammer, after, like, they told me they're possibly going to be working on a different game mode. And then she said, like, oh yeah, like literally the next day Elite just went and made his video. And then, oh yeah, like I told Elite that I might have had cancer, and he just didn't care. He just made a video calling for a scammer. So, like, to like try to try to say, like, oh, I didn't care that she had cancer, and I'm just like falsely calling for a scammer, and like all the stuff I said was false. That's why I'm saying she's a piece of shit. Like, they told me they're gonna change the game, and it was 3 months later that I made videos calling him a scammer after I got banned
Yeah,
for
and that's
expressing my opinion in the Discord. I got the message instantly deleted, and then I was banned. It's
that's
not
funny
because
that you bring that up too.
what?
Because my experience with me talking with Four during the part where I was parting ways, he got very, emotionally angry and all this stuff, and this is how you know they're both in on it, right? This is actually
Gotta
proof
go
here.
through my list, but yeah.
It is, he tries to use Poppy, like, oh look, because I don't know why. I mean, I don't care for both of them anyways. But he tried to use Poppy, saying, "Oh, look, you're gonna make Poppy cry. Look, she's crying in the background. You're so making me so angry," kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. That's not my relationship. And I can literally see that she doesn't. She's not even crying. She's just chilling in the background. I'm like, okay, did that retarded to make me think that I have some type of emotional, deranged attachment to your person? No.
There's some
What's wrong
sort
with you?
of scamming tactic.
Exactly, and that's how I know for a fact that they're both in on it, because so he knew that I happen to have a personality where I'm like, oh, hey, I like to talk to people. I befriend them on Steam if they really, chill with me. And I like to do GIFs and funny GIFs and stuff like that. He thought that I was like some other person that was like emotionally attached to people. And I'm like, no, no. I
Okay.
keep business separate from relationships, right? Because I completely contractual. That's the thing is where he fucked up was thinking that I was that kind of an emotional person. So it's like, yeah, buddy, I can see clearly through this. So there is proof there that they're both in on it somehow.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
I know Lizard wants to get to his list, and I will let you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
yeah.
that.
Sorry about that.
But first, though, like since we're talking about them being scammers, and you talked about like pyramid scheme, I don't know if Stealthy already talked about Dunes before, but if not, then I'm just gonna
I
share
have
my screen real quick. You haven't, right?
no.
Okay, so just real quick, let me share my screen. You can open that up. And Lizard, if you can, you should send us your list in a group chat or like send the photo so we could see it, on just
Yeah,
live.
I'm doing that now.
Oh,
Hold
if you
on.
want, send it to Elite since his stream seems good, and he can just pull them up as you name stuff.
Either way.
You know what? Good idea.
So
While he shows us this dude.
yeah, let me show you this. So first of all, the way I found out about this, and we know it's him because it says Philip Nollington, and I don't care if you want to cut that out. I'm telling you guys that that's for his name, and that's public information. So he made that public in the Peak Discord and on other ways too.
Yeah, it's
Anyways, that's
public, so it's not getting taken
yeah.
out.
It's not like some of us like I don't know Socom John's name. That's not public, or my name's not public, right? His name is public. He's the creator of this game, Dunes, Overclock Studio, and 30 Bird Games. The way I found out about this is because I posted the videos, and then someone messaged me on YouTube and was like, "Hey, I used to work on a game with Four. I known him for 10 years, and we worked on a different game before XIO." And I was like, "Okay." And I had like a 30-minute conversation with them, and I recorded it, but I just never posted it because I was just over peak. But anyways, he told me like this is the game that they first started working on, and that when they didn't get the goal for the Kickstarter, the $120,000 goal, that Four was like, "Oh fuck this, I don't want to work with you anymore," and then he started making XIO. So yeah,
120,000.
and see the thing is, it's Kickstarter, so he didn't get any money because you have to get the goal on Kickstarter. But
Oh,
when
okay. So he
he's
didn't
like,
make this money.
yeah, he didn't.
No,
I,
yeah, yeah. Usually, whenever how Kickstarter works is when if you don't achieve the goal pledge, all the money is returned to the pledgers.
yeah.
There you go. That's
And
all it
you get
sees.
nothing. Yeah, yeah.
So you can see
And,
like this is the game. It's very early. It's like he's asking
Was it
$120,000
survival?
for this. Yeah, it's a survival game, and that's what XIO was too. But so
But third
so
person.
to the pyramid scheme or whatever your scheming type of conversation, like this is a third game. He's hiding this, and then he went to XIO, and that didn't work out. He didn't get his quick money. Then he went to Peak. He says like, oh I don't know, my cousin or something, yeah, loves SOCOM, and I love SOCOM, and I just thought to make it. I think he honestly just tried to make it because he knew that there was already like a community and people would donate, and that's the only reason why. Like, I don't think he.
yeah, to add on to that,
I mean,
I
I
think
believe he wanted to be a good developer. I
oh,
think he wanted to be a game developer. He wanted to do a lot of things. So when I look at these older games, I could just chalk that up to arrogance and uh he's uneducated and he's just learning the curve to it. So I could see his ambition. So like his older titles, I want to knock him for, but maybe he just handled it wrongly. He tried to do everything by himself. But the
uh
biggest problem I have is was
mhm,
how he treats people. That's basically why I'm here is
right.
because how he treated Elite terribly. He treated Target terribly. Treated me terribly. Treated a lot of people terribly. So I can forgive his past transgressions about fucked up games that are old devs. Because I don't think Four is the smartest guy. So yeah, I think he fucked up a lot of times. Didn't know how to solve it. So he went on to the next project. But I'm
Yeah,
okay
and
with it
So
because he
we had a
treats
let
good
people
me
time
terribly.
too.
let me roll in here real quick on that. That would be all good and dandy, but a lot of those things, right, that I seen, right, those are completely asset flips. So uh, and I know that survival product that he's using because I have it in my own library, and a lot of it, and that's why it gains to more of the fact that he's just grabbing into what you said about communities. He's finding a community where he could know for a fact that he could try to sell them a product on the hopes of nostalgia, right? And then if he failed at it, try to move on to a new community and say, hey, I always love this type of game. I'm here for you guys. Check out this next successor of X product or something
Honestly,
else.
I don't even, dude. I think we're giving him way too much credit. I don't even think he saw that far. I think he's just a little kid that got behind a big ass truck and tried to create something that he just had no clue how to make, but he wanted to do it. It's almost like someone hopping on Canva or someone hopping on these little video editor sites and they learn how to make videos and like, oh shit, I'm a graphic designer now. But no, you don't know Adobe After Effects. You don't know anything about that. You don't know how to make animations. He's just a dude that pictured, oh, I could put this marketplace asset on this and this and this. Oh, I'm a game developer. No, you're not. But he's like a little kid with big dreams, and that's how I look at 4. He's not
But
smart enough to think about, oh,
but the issue with that
My list.
perspective though is because the fact that he goes out of his way, takes it a step further than just saying, "Oh, look, I'm making a game," even though it's just asset flip stuff. He's taking it a step further into deceiving people, right? And basically taking money from communities that he knows well for a fact that he can manipulate based on that. And that's
oh
the
yeah,
fact
yeah.
where I'm saying, hey, it's probably more than just him, a kid in a big truck, right? It's a bit more than that. And it could be chalk it up to my own experience of working with multiple bad actors before. But I look at it more of like, yeah, it seems to lean toward, like, the evidence that I can see from it leans towards this guy's a pyramid scheme artist.
Oh yeah, definitely pyramid scheme. But honestly, like look at it like this. I'll lean on the big truck scenario again. You got this kid in a big ass truck, and he has 2 paths. He has a rocky path, and then he has the highway. Is he going to hit the highway or is he going to hit the rocky path? I think 4 is just he chose the easiest route. Maybe he did play SOCOM back in the day. I don't think so, but maybe he played like a couple levels, and he's like, oh yeah, I think you're right about like he capitalized on a very vulnerable community, but I really don't think he was smart enough to be like, okay, I'm scamming people. But like, it doesn't matter what you intend to do, it only matters what you do. So I do believe he's a scammer, but do I believe that he like set out to be a scammer? No, but I 100% he's a scammer. He's an asshole. He doesn't deserve
Now,
anybody's support, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
and to add
That's
on to
cool,
that,
but like I gotta get through
oh,
my list, dog.
oh yeah,
Like it's
sorry,
been like 20
we
minutes.
keep
Like I
going
keep
into
saying that, you
tangents.
keep on
Sorry
going. Like
about
I'm
that.
not trying to get.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be respectful, but dog, like come on now. I'm the only person in here who literally has not
Listen,
had
you
a
don't want to
single
see the
say.
Hulk angry.
Yeah.
Like
All
you
right,
haven't.
all right,
Yeah,
man.
bro. Like
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, let's do the list, Ben.
Yeah, just let him go. We have plenty to talk about.
What do you want me to show right now?
Preferably your fucking
I'm sharing my screen.
wiener.
Yeah, I see it.
what the hell? So number 4 was show the backer promises, the Peak 53, yeah, all that stuff. So the Peak 53, the backer promises. He promised a lot of shit based on everything I seen him, and a lot of that shit didn't even come to light. Uh, he failed to even commit to the fucking game because there's a lot of things that were promised, including that, what was that stupid ass mode called again? The den or
Yeah.
something.
Oh
That
yeah,
shit didn't
the
even.
battle royale where we all go into a map and then
And that was like 2 months into development. He was working.
yeah,
I mean,
he
he
did mention.
promised supporters what is it, a golden AK? Where the fuck's that, dude? He promised me that shit 2 years ago. But yeah, on with the lizard.
So
He's had
I'm
the
gonna speak in a neutral tone because when I did interview him, I did ask him about all these things, and he did respond, and he did say that he would give you either a refund, socomjohn, on the golden AK, or give you the golden AK if you were playing. That's his claim. And then, what was the other thing you mentioned? Oh yeah, what I wanted to mention about the backer thing. He did have in small bold text that none of this is guaranteed, and a lot of developers or even publishers do this too. So yeah, this is the reason why people will call your project a scam, is when you have that little bold text that nothing is guaranteed, and then when he gets the money, he doesn't provide all these.
Bro, he was
I'll just say
pretending.
4. If you're listening right now, me, Elite, and Lizard, we want our money back. I'm not gonna hit you up, dude. You know we want our money back. You don't say like, oh, I'll refund you. No, you refund everyone that you promised a fucking project for and you didn't deliver. Just refund them automatically out of having good moral. Like,
He can't do
what are
that.
you
All right,
doing,
all
bro?
right, all right.
It's a
I
lot
mean,
of
he
money.
can't
Let's keep
do it,
going.
but I
Hold
mean,
on, hold on.
seriously.
All right,
In all
hey,
honesty, he knows how much money he owes people. He knows who to hit up and who he exactly owes and who wants a fucking refund. I'll say
all right.
that.
Okay, so let's just keep Target going. Let's go.
Yeah. On that point, yeah. And we stand by because that's going to come back later. That's actually later on in my list. But number 5, the disrespect to me and everybody else. He's disrespected a lot of people, but I'm not going to sit here and I've
Did
gotten better. It's took me a while, but I've gotten better at it. But at the time, I was one of those people where you just said one thing and it lit my fuse. I went off. Like I was one of those people. So I could have handled things better, but at the time I was explosive. But only if I was provoked. I didn't do it for no reason.
so did you explode on 4 or what happened?
Yes, that's why. Yes, he. That's part of the reason why he kept muting me. Is because he would say something stupid and I'd correct him on it. Like he'd do something like I'd say, "Hey, bro, this," because he doesn't understand that. Hey, dude, every if you claim to be a game developer, every game developer knows you get your core mechanics down first, and you make sure they're solid before you do anything else. You build the
Hmm.
core mechanics, make sure it's smooth as butter, and then you build upon that. That way, you won't have to fix so many fucking bugs as you go older. Because I mean, as you go on, because the more bugs that pile up, sometimes it gets really, really hard to find certain bugs. And he didn't understand that. And then he say shit like, "Oh, don't say nothing, don't say stuff like that when I'm trying to play." And then that's when I go off and be like, "Motherfucker, like, I'm gonna go off on you. I'm gonna say it because I'm playing your game that I bought. That's a piece of shit game, and everybody's telling me because bro, he would leave bugs in there for months on end. Stuff that shouldn't even have bugs, like your shooting, hitboxes, all of that stuff. It's like, dude, you should have had that down packed like from the get go. I shouldn't have to keep reminding you every time I come on here. Why the fuck is the sounds way too loud? Every time I would shoot my gun, blow my eardrums out. I was like, dude, like, what are you doing? And he get mad when he get confronted about that.
So was this
So
during community nights or just a
both
casual chat?
community nights and sometimes he'd stream his game dev and shit of him just like placing stupid shit around the map. And I'd be like, hey bro, that's cool. And that's another thing about it. It's like, bro, this is UE5. Stop with the PS3 graphics. Like, I understand people want some SOCOM shit, but dog, make a SOCOM game, but make it photorealistic. The reason why SOCOM was low poly was because at the time the game was not advanced. The we was limited at the time because it was on PS2. We're about to have the PS5 Pro. Like, there shouldn't be a reason for these PS3 graphics, motherfucker. That's what and that's the kind of stuff I was telling him. Like, bro, you need to fix your post processing. The shit looks terrible. And another thing is that he actually tried to put in a because Unreal Engine has this thing called mega grants where if your project is pretty good, you'd they if your prototype is solid, they give you money so you can start your game dev career and finish the game. They seen that his game was just a bunch of lazy asset flips, horribly put together, and they told his ass no. And I was like, that's what you get, motherfucker, for not listening.
Yeah, Skyboy can attest to that. He saw the code and it was scrambled everywhere and
It's
confusing.
basically exactly what you said. It's all just assets that he grabbed from this asset store that he hobbled together, especially like the parts where he claimed that, oh, he built this level, oh, he modeled this into the game, and said no, he didn't do any of that. He just grabbed it, placed it together, and kind of recreated some of the maps from SOCOM in a sense with that. Going back to that post processing stuff, yeah, uh, he asked me to actually do some post processing updates because he said the lighting was fucked up, and I'm like, okay, well, since I have a background in the art side of things for game development, I'm like, okay, well, I could do these fixes for you. He said he liked them completely, and then I don't know what happened afterwards. So,
Bro, the update broke the game. We couldn't play it for like a
now,
month because we were
yeah,
getting
and
less than 60 FPS on like every map.
no. So he had a weird lighting asset that he bought, right? He threw it in there, and I saw it, and I'm like, why did you just throw that in there? You're running a post process system that changes per map, but it has a bunch of ticks, and a tick functions on every like second or something to try
which
to
is
change the
bad,
lighting.
horrible for
Yeah, it's
optimization.
completely horrible. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is overkill on a lot of this. All you need is like a baked lighting system where it just bakes the lights per map instead of like having this giant conglomerate of systems. So I try to like simplify it. I guess he went back on it or something like that after I left because I know that he didn't implement any of what I added for the lighting and stuff. And then on top of that, going back to the bugs that you were mentioning that should have been gone. Apparently, what happened was because he swapped the server from being locally hosted to a dedicated server, it fucked up a lot of the code. And go figure, because a lot of the code that he is utilizing was not meant for a dedicated server. So you're gonna have registered hitboxes not working and shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, what? Why is he like the entire time? Me and some of the other devs were like, why is he trying to build the game uh on a sand pit, right? Not solid foundation. It's like, yeah, what the fuck is this?
And
Exactly,
and
bro.
and that wasn't a dedicated server, it was his gaming PC. I
Yeah,
Hmm.
mean, I
and
guess
that's
it was the
dangerous.
dedicated server, but it was his
Well,
gaming PC,
right,
right?
and he was like doing a weird transition between the two, and he said a lot of shit was breaking because of that. I'm like, well, yeah, you didn't build the game right off the bat with a solid foundation. Of course, you're gonna have fucking problems.
Yeah. I just want to say I don't think I mean, I don't care that he used assets or whatever to recreate SOCOM maps or to make a game. That's
Oh,
not
100%.
the
No,
problem
yeah, that's not
or
the
anything.
problem. The problem is him
Everything
claiming
was
that he
his
made it.
assets. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
everything. Like
Yeah.
he didn't creatively use the assets. He literally just said, "Hey, I'm gonna buy like $5,000 worth of assets, and I'm just gonna put everything together and call it a day."
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no creative use of it. It was, "Hey, I'm gonna take somebody else's work and just slop it together." And it's like, dude, what the fuck? The only thing I can give the four is his recreations. His original maps suck, but his recreations are actually pretty spot on. That's the only thing I'll give him.
They're
But
not on the spot, but I mean, some of them were good. Like Blizzard was good.
yeah,
Uh,
Yeah, now Lizard, I have to ask you. So,
hmm
going back to you giving him feedback during community nights, he did mention there was a feedback form where you could lay out all the feedback, and um, I'm not agreeing that you shouldn't have gone after him and asked him some of that stuff, but he did say, please leave it in the forums. We're here to just game, have a good community night. And Ford did go off on someone like Lupin, who came in new and didn't know this, and then joined the chat, gave feedback, and then he went off on him. So he's not, so he is guilty of a lot of things, but has he mentioned that to you, that can you please leave them in the feedback form instead of going off? And
so
is that the
mhm.
reason you got banned? Because you kept going off on him during community nights?
So
No,
I
he
didn't
never
get
went off
banned.
on him, dude. He never went off on him. Like
Well, he
I will.
mentioned he did.
Yeah, I mean, Four can mention anything, dude.
No, I'm
But
saying Lizard just mentioned now that
well,
he.
yeah, I mean, Lizard went off on him after Four, like repeatedly shown disrespect.
Yeah,
Target would be
Okay.
talking in a voice chat community night, and he'd be clearly asking for a question. I don't remember exactly what the question was, if it had to do development, anything like that. But he'd be like just saying something, and he would notice that Four's not responding back because Four muted him right off the get go, bro. Four would mute him, and on top of that, Four would talk shit about him constantly, and just Four never acted professional. And
Was it the
Target like.
hours or the kills that he went after Lizard?
oh my god, bro. This
Oh,
man is
okay.
such a biatch. He will always talk shit while I was muted. He would never ever talk shit while bro, because I was undefeated. Like he knew it was over if I opened my mouth. He'd mute me and then talk shit because he knew it'd be over. So like he'd mute me and then he'll take his shit. But yeah, bro, like that's what it been like. But that's why I went off. And as far and to go back to your shit about the whole feedback stuff, yes, he told me. But I'm glad you brought this up because like I said, he would leave stuff in there for months on end. So I'd place something in there, notice that the bug hasn't been fixed for a whole month, and I'd go back and I'm like, hey, can you fix this? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, he's seen it and probably forgot. Because in my mind, I'm not nagging him, I'm helping him. I'm trying to say, hey, dude, your stuff is broke, you need to fix it. And that's the problem with four. If you're not sucking his dick, he doesn't want to deal with you. Nope, no diddy. So I'm just saying.
And he took everything like he would take like Lizard said, he would say something, "Oh, Four, this is still broken. What's going on?" Four would take that so personally, like he's attacking his character instead of saying he's trying to help you. Lizard was just saying it to try to help you, remind you, whatever it is. Lizard doesn't know that maybe you've heard that 5 times already today, but like, Four could have acted a lot more professional. It is what it is. You're a lead developer. You're going to be asked a bunch of questions. And I used to tell Four this. I was like, listen, if you're not up to answering questions, then tell me, and hey, we'll go in a separate voice chat with a couple moderators and we'll just have fun one night. Hit the reset button, brother, and then come back, answer more questions the next community night. But he never did that. It was always like, hey, you're expected to know. Don't fucking say anything in the voice chat. Go to fucking the Discord and type it out if you want me to see it. But then he never would respond to anything in the Discord if you typed it out. Elite would do messages every other day, dude. He would do screenshots every other day and he would show people, all right, this needs to be changed. This needs to be changed. And I never seen like Four commenting on it. Never like, oh, yeah, I'll change that. Oh, yeah, I'll change this. Maybe he did with Elite like a couple times, but for the average Joe, if you didn't donate $200 plus, he ain't going to listen to you. Matter of fact, he's just going to talk shit about you and drink a beer and call it a day.
No, I agree. Now, do you think it's because of the budgeting or he's not a developer and doesn't know how to fix it?
Both. Both.
Yeah, both.
I think he instead of having common sense, dude, like he went like, okay, I'm a developer. Okay, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna make this game. Where it's like, no, you don't do that.
He
Keep your
should have never
job.
quit his job.
Exactly. Keep
It
that
didn't make sense.
35,000 a year salary or 50,000, whatever you're making. Keep that,
Well, hey,
and then
hold on.
develop the game on the side.
Do we even know if that's true that he
Well,
quit
Yeah,
his
yeah.
job?
Oh, yeah. He quit his job right away.
I mean, we
Yeah,
don't know for 100% fact. We don't have his tax W-2, but he told us that he quit his job, and he told
yeah.
me that he used some of my donation to pay his personal phone bill.
I mean, his
Like,
anger and his how sensitive he was and how personally he took everything.
Mhm.
That would lead me to believe that what he was saying was true. Like he needed this to happen, or it's just game over.
yeah, but
But
you
then
can't.
I mean, the guy did have money for booze every weekend, so I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
what the fuck he's
that's
doing.
see, it's one of those unknown unknowns. So it's like, who
Yeah, he could
knows?
be making bank, dude. I don't know. He could be making $80,000 a year at a different job and just feeding us a line of bullshit so we feel sorry about him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hey, another
and
tactic.
Elite, I remember, so to go back to the feedback you were giving for, you were
Yeah.
recording things like clipping into buildings, and there was some YouTuber that did that as well, and he went off on him. Can you explain what happened there and
I
why
mean,
you didn't get banned but he got banned?
I don't have like the video or chat pulled up. I mean, I could just explain it to you, but basically, like this was like the very first month of testing, so it wasn't just testing. The game was still being built. It was very early access alpha. Uh, but so me and this guy were playing one night. His name's Wilson, and I was recording. I was live streaming on Twitch. We were like, trying to look at spots on the wall. I'm a little high. Sorry. We're trying to look at spots on the wall, like where you would shoot and then the bullet would like stop because there's like an invisible wall, or like just fucked up shit with the game. And anyways, I posted my recording of it on Twitch, like I saved it, and then this Wilson guy had the same thing. Like he was testing with me. He posted on YouTube, and then for like went into the public chat. He's like, "Oh, like at everyone, and then at Wilson. Wilson, I can't believe you did this. This we don't make people sign NDAs because we assume that they're not going to be, trying to make the game look bad. Like you're a piece of shit. Blah blah blah. I'm not gonna go find the receipt right now, but anyways, so that was like weird from that point. Like I was like, why are you getting mad at this guy for posting test sitting footage? He like saved it because he wanted to send it to four to show him like, hey, these are some things that need to be fixed. And he's also promoting the game. He's posting content for your game. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, thank you for that,
Yeah.
Elite. Target, did you have anything else? And I think we haven't heard from Skyboy in a while. So after you
Oh well, I've been talking.
or Lizard. Oh yeah, you've
Yeah,
been. I mean, I guess you explained your side. So, Lizard, did you have any more points? And I do
yeah,
have a
we
question
actually.
for socom John after.
Oh no, go ahead. No, we actually crossed a couple of points. It actually flowed very well. So, yeah, if you want to ask SOCOM, you sup.
Yeah, socom John. So, Hippie mentions in the podcast I interviewed her, and she says that she joined to be on your Green Up podcast several times, and you left her in the dust. Basically, you weren't there. Was that on purpose, or was there some scheduling conflict? Did you let her know? What's the deal with that? Like, why did you do that? If you did that.
Oh no, that was 100% on purpose. That's because around that time I felt the shift towards a lot of shady stuff happening. You know, people that I respected being banned, people coming up to me and telling me their situations regarding Peak 53, and I was 100% all on board. And I've always tried to be that middleman where I'm trying to give I'm trying to give Poppy a voice while also, letting my community decide for themselves if they want to support it. But what Poppy told me was like, "Hey, socomjohn, I want you to host a podcast. I want you to live stream it. But hey, you can't talk about this, and this. And if somebody says this in the chat, can you please ban and mute them?" And there was a lot of things where I'm not down for that.
Yeah,
I
you're not
wanted it to
comfortable.
be an open, yeah. So it felt like a little bit like, okay, if you're gonna treat me like I'm doing PR for you or HR, whatever, then I want to be paid like that because up until that point, I've done everything for free and I never felt the love. I never felt like the appreciation of me making videos, of me. It'd be like a 5 minute montage of Peak, but guess what? It took me 6 hours, 7 hours to fucking edit it. And I've done that so many times, and I know Elite might have done that too. And there's things where I didn't feel respected, where I was people were telling me, "Hey, Four was talking shit behind your back the whole time. Four is sending me DMs of you. Four's doing this." So I was like, you know what? That's kind of during the shift where I was like, okay, if you're gonna want this from me, then I'm gonna need some respect, or you're gonna have to pay me. And also, obviously show me respect, but it's just I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the love. I didn't feel anything like that. And I was also just uncomfortable. They made a lot of laws that I had to abide by, and I've always just been open with my community. If somebody comes in and says, "Oh, Four, you're this, you're that," and just, dropping swears, okay, I'll mute them. But if they're coming in and they're just trying to bring attention to a situation, and if you're too scared to even talk about that situation, then maybe you got something to hide.
I agree with that. So they did want to do another podcast more recently, and one of the things I wasn't allowed to ask was about the outfits. So I didn't like that. I didn't agree to do it, and I never asked them to come back on. So I
Yeah.
hear what you're saying.
Well, I'm glad you
Now,
mentioned the outfits, bro. Not to interrupt you, but I'm glad you mentioned the outfits because that's a huge thing too. Where I remember you asked, "Oh, why is Peak 53 a scam?" It's because even when they were just implementing the outfits, and you can buy outfits and you can do outfits. There's outfits where people would buy and he would remove them without asking anybody. He would remove them without refunding. You'd have to go to Four and you'd have to ask for a refund yourself. Or
Yep, and that's one.
there's things where outfits didn't even work, dude. So you have people literally paying to beta test your project. You don't even know if outfits will work, but yet it's costing $2 a piece for certain things. And then guess what? Some of the people, the characters, had black cans and they had a white face. It's like this guy can't even add outfits to his
So
own game. And it's like when you're editing and you're trying to see if it even works, why are you charging people money still?
so he actually went with that idea. I told him not to do that.
Yeah, he 100% he charged you money and he didn't even know if it worked yet. You had to
He
basically pay for an outfit in beta test, and half those outfits you didn't even get, or he would
Oh my
remove,
god.
and then
I
you'd have
told
to
him not
ask
to
him
do
for a
that
refund.
idea.
Oh
I
yeah, he
literally
doesn't
told him
care.
not to do that because it's like he when I was working with him, right? He told me that idea, and I told him, "Don't do
Hey,
that. It's gonna fuck
killer.
everything up." Yeah, go ahead.
What's that?
Can you pull up that receipt that I gave you with 'cause I'm not trying to interrupt anybody, but
No,
that
no,
was
no.
actually one of my points about that whole situation where I had bought like $30 worth of outfits, and I messaged Foreign Poppy and said, "Hey, motherfucker, um, my shit glitched." Like
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't there.
I
it
will.
Same
was,
thing
I
happened to
yeah.
me,
will.
dude.
I will
And
show that.
then
But
there's a screenshot where essentially the screenshot was
yeah,
essentially me
I'll
and
pull it
Poppy
up.
talking, and the only thing she fucking said was, "Oh, I'd fix it, I promise." And I was like, "Okay, where's my refund, dude?" Like she didn't even offer a refund. Ford didn't offer a refund. They just said, "Oh, we fix it. Fuck your
Um.
money, but we'll fix it." And then I was talking to SOCOM John about it because I was like, at this, no, I think I told Ford straight up at this point. I said, "Dude, at this point, you're fucking with people's money. You're fucking with people's wallets. You need to get this shit fixed right now. This shit's
I
not
mean, bro,
cool."
you got so desperate that you messaged me, and that's when Four wasn't handling his own business. So me and you started talking. We had like 2-hour conversations about this
Hmm.
because Ford wouldn't take time out of his own day to handle his own problems, bro. He would pass the puck, dude. That's it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds similar experience that I learned. Which was funny. Yeah, actually, bring up that receipt with the outfit because that is actually interesting to me. Because
Well,
uh, at the time, right, me and him were passing around an idea of because when I presented the itemization of things, he said he wanted to do outfits, and I'm like, okay, but let's do it in a more player friendly way. They don't pay for the outfits; they earn them in the game, right? And make it based on the itemization of the whole loot system thing
that's
that
how
I
it's
was
supposed to
presenting
be,
a thing.
like a
Right.
currency.
Yeah, like it's a current the dog tags you earn in the game. You kill people, you do more good, right? You're a better player. You could use those dog tags to roll for better gear or alternate outfits and
But
shit
just
like that.
cosmetic stuff.
There we go.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah, yeah.
see.
It was mainly cosmetic shit. But
Oh,
what he, I guess, wanted to do was make it all buy, like you buy for it. I'm like, no, that sounds like a scam. You're gonna hurt the players wanting to just enjoy the game, and it feels more better if you're a player and that person earned that skin rather than just buying it. It
yeah.
defeats the purpose.
When it gets people to keep playing, which is the problem the game had, was people didn't want to keep playing.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
show
But
this receipt.
wait,
Can
I'll
y'all
let
see
you
it?
show this. Well, I'll let you show it, but let me show this real quick. So,
Mm.
because you were talking about the outfits and you're talking about how the game's a scam, like here's a reason why I'm saying the game is a scam. He's posting in Discord saying, "Oh, here's the new update that's coming. I got the backer outfits fixed finally. I got a new map." And then the backer outfit is literally he just bought it from a pack and he didn't even change
Mm-hmm.
anything about it. And so is the map. Like, and he acted like he was saying he was working on the backer outfits for months. He's like, "Oh guys, it's gonna come soon. Sorry, it's delayed." But all he did was he had this pack, and I don't know why he
Yeah.
was pretending like he was making it. Probably just because he wants to seem like it's working. But you can see he doesn't do shit. Like, so, anyways, and look, he says like, "Oh, I'm sorry, the backer outfits are running behind." Like, what's running behind, right? You just bought the outfit in the store. So
That
yeah, that's all I had to say about
I
that.
mean,
Oh,
he had me fix some of his assets to actually get more continuity for his systems for some of them because he was running into issues where certain assets which expected don't work with the other asset or work with his system. So I'm like, yeah, it's best to either have it custom made or have that all preset on a specific game design that you're working with. He didn't really
Yeah.
have any of that. He was just going as he goes.
Yeah, and speaking on that, before I get to this thing before I get to the message. Uh, by the way, in case y'all didn't know, the game is made with ALS. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's when he says we're changing the whole game. He just switched out the traditional animation bullshit with ALS.
So
But
was it a
anyway,
template? Was it the standard $199
it was the A. It,
template that everyone
no,
uses?
it's a ALS is a free template that a lot of people uses.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's he just used that. But
Well,
essentially,
the game
fucking
wasn't before, but he said when he hired Kickstarter developers that this is what I'm telling you this way he told me, oh, they convinced him to switch over to ALS, and then like he didn't like what was going on, and then he fired them, and he was stuck with it. That's what he said. I'll let
Yeah,
you
because prior it was different how the animations
It
were,
was,
how he
yeah.
ran around the character, which is that same head leaning animation from that well known template that even I think From Within is using and Enforcer's Revolt.
I mean, head
Yeah.
leaning is it's easy. I mean, you can implement it, but in my opinion, you ask me, I like the original animations better. Me kind of, I really don't like how ALS is. It's kind of it needs a lot of work to make it look really good. But
And let me comment on that with the ALS stuff. I told like when I was in there, I told them, why are we using ALS? Because in my experience with ALS, it's more of a hassle and a pain in the ass to integrate into any kind of system because of how broad of a stroke. Like think of it like if you're painting on a canvas, right? You either paint with a small brush for the details or a big broad brush for just a big blotch of paint. ALS is very good for just that big initial broad stroke, but to integrate details into it is a pain in the ass. Well, prior to I think 5.4, because I know they did do a complete overhaul with their new direction. But prior to that, it's
it's
just a
still a
pain in
pain.
the if it's still a pain, then I still do not recommend it. Like
Yeah,
it's so much easier to just do your own custom system. Like it's so
exactly.
much more efficient. And I try to tell them, look, you can hire me to do this custom system for you. It's not that hard. It's I've done many shooter systems like this.
Dude, me and you gotta talk. But yeah, because
And
I'm
and,
working on a
and
project too. But me and
yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
talk.
And the thing is, it's like he said, "Oh yeah, I'm willing to do that, but we're kind of stuck with ALS, so we're gonna have to just integrate it for now, and maybe later I'll hire you to do this custom system." I'm like, "But that means you're gonna run with these faulty systems because now you have all this excess code that's just gonna bloat the entire project." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll handle it later." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, if that's what you're gonna deal with, then." And there's the result.
Okay, switching to Lizard, to your screenshot.
Yeah, it should be. It's the one with Oh, you see it? Do you see
Yeah,
it?
we see it.
Okay, so down here where it says "I will take care of it," I promise. This was during the time where we was in community night, and I brung it up before, and I said, "Hey, motherfucker." Yeah, I didn't say it nice either. I said, "Hey, dude, my shit is pretty fucked up. You better fix this." And I was explaining how I put $30 in their bullshit ass game just to be nice, bro. Just to be nice, because at this point I was being disrespected like a motherfucker. But I was like, I was like, you know what? I'm still trying to help. So hey, I'll give you 30. And their her excuse was, I'll take care of it. I promise. And she didn't lie. She just fixed it months later, where the game was so dead nobody even heard of it.
Okay,
Like, yeah, they
so
fixed it after the game was dead. And by the way, those AI images up there, they that was another thing topic where essentially, because I know his Ford was putting these stupid ass images in the game, so I was like, hey dude, let me make your images, because I'm actually way better at Midjourney than he is. So I was like, dude, let me do it, because your
do
shit
you do
sucks.
artwork?
Well, I actually now I do 3D art, I draw, and now I'm learning Unreal Engine, so I have quite a few skills. And
Interesting.
yeah, but I heavily recommend people don't use AI. Once people see that you using AI for your images, your game's gonna die because a lot of people have a stigma behind AI. So
Yep.
I recommend don't put no AI images in your game. The moment they see it, it's over. So and then we actually touched on a whole bunch of topics, so I get to skip a few.
Well, I
But
got a question about this particular chat you have up here.
yes.
Why is she telling you to get a hold of Nate Dogg to get your refund? Is it or
Oh, it's because she told
his
me
cut?
that. Yeah, oh yeah, and thanks for reminding me. This is what also went off on one day because I was like, you're telling me to go through all these people. You're acting like you're such a big dog, but when I ask you to do certain things, you tell me to go. You direct me to somebody else who essentially you're claiming to be some kind of head. And I was like, dude, okay, what the fuck? Which one is it? Are you the head or is he the fucking head? Which one is it? They're telling me to go to Nate Dogg for a fucking refund and checking in to see if I can even get a refund. Like, what the fuck you talking about, bitch? Give me my refund.
Yeah.
Like,
So to my knowledge, Nate Dogg was like Elite Killer. He was a moderator there along with Sick, and then later on, people like McNasty came. So Elite Killer, comment on? Can you comment on this? What was Nate Dogg? What was Sick? Who else was?
Uh,
Were they personally
uh,
working with him, involved in his
so
studio?
McNasty is a dick rider, bro. He got
so
added to
yeah,
the moderator group after 4 banned everybody. That's when McNasty was added, and then I'll let Elite continue. Sorry about that.
yeah, McNasty is a bitch. Sorry.
My dog, I love it.
I'm gonna have to get him on here to respond to you guys.
man,
Oh
bro,
man.
he says he just be slobbing on his meat, bro. Like,
I mean, McNasty is John Wisdom's in real life friend, and he was in the chat. Well, this random stranger on the internet is screaming at his in real life friend, and he didn't say shit. And not only that, he joins his enemy side. Like John Wisdom said that he wouldn't recommend P53 to his worst enemy. Anyways, that's besides the point. So yeah, so Nate Dogg. I mean, we were all just. I just when I joined the Discord right away, I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I like SOCOM." So I asked him,
So you
"Hey, can I
joined
be
after
added?"
Nate Dogg and
Yeah. So
Sick.
Nate Dogg. No, I joined before Sick, but Nate Dogg joined. He was like he was like the second person to join the Discord or the first one, but he saw the trailer um, on YouTube, the original, SOCOM 2 theme trailer, and I guess he joined the Discord and then he messaged Four. He didn't know him, and he's like, "Hey, I want to help out. I do graphic design for like cars or whatever." And Four's like, um, he didn't let him help out right away, but then once we started adding people to the admin team, Nate Dogg got added on, and then he started helping out more with the visual effects and like how the text looks or like UI stuff. Like he helped, on the bottom left when you see the weapon and the grenades, like he helped how that looks. Or like when we had
very
skins
simple
on the
shit,
guns, he
essentially.
he helped with that. Or like the branding, he made it like P53 and the black and yellow and all that kind of stuff. That's what he did. And then
Yeah,
Sick,
Nate Dogg, right?
yeah, Nate Dogg, that's what he did. And
Yeah,
then
that's
Sick,
what I was told. And then yeah, the Zick guy.
well, Sick, not Zick. There's Zick, which is a game developer, which For hired. For hires his game developers, I think, from a Discord, like an Unreal Engine Discord.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so that's where he gets all of them, which is fine. Whatever. There's a whole problem with that though, which is like he hires people, they do a little bit of work, and then he fires them, and then someone else is trying to fix someone else's code, and then, like you said,
What?
they're like, but
That's literally
someone
what
else.
it is, dude. He recycles them, bro. He just like up.
Yeah,
And then he'll put all the blame on that developer that he just banned, bro. And I remember even one time, Elite. I'm not sure if you can verify this, but didn't he ask people like he told everyone like, "Oh, this person works here and this person lives here," and like he
Yeah,
outed somebody completely, dude.
yeah, and
Wow.
I got banned from other Discord from that, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" They're like, "Yeah, you're a game developer. The main guy is like doxing this guy." He's like, "Yeah, oh, he works for fucking I'm not gonna say the game name, but he works for this game development company, and he lives in this area. If you guys have any information," and then someone posted information about the guy, like in the public Discord. Anyways, but yeah,
Oh,
that's and Sick was just another guy who also was helping out a little bit. Like mostly what he did was talk shit about people, like who were giving honest feedback. Like I don't know, I don't really have a problem with Sick, but he when you're like being an admin for a game or a moderator, you should be respectful. You don't need to be a fucking dick. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of times where like McNasty, he's one of those people now. Like he's just a fucking dick. He's just a meat rider. But anyways, all Sick did was like help with some feedback, help with talking with the community and making like map fly throughs of SOCOM 2. Because here's one thing, like you think if you were making a SOCOM 2 spiritual successor, you would hop on SOCOM 2. Like it's really easy. You could download the emulator, you can play for free. You can experience what you're trying to fucking kind of
Mhm.
recreate in a way. For refuse to hop on SOCOM 2, like even just for an hour, you know, if you're
Right, bro.
trying
I
to
remember him saying
game,
like, "Oh, dude, I just finished this map. Oh, SOCOM John, I watched one of your videos and I seen like you playing through, and I got the map from this." I'm like, dude, why didn't you just hop in yourself? You're
yeah,
watching
it's
this
weird.
video that's like 3 years old. Like, just play the game.
So that's the main thing that Sig did was send him the map fly throughs. I mean, Eagle helped out way more than Sig. We went on Trello. We had like a Trello board and we'd do a little bug feedback. But yeah, they didn't officially like work for. They weren't like hired as like moderators or anything like that.
No, I think it's just another person knew that was this guy sick. He's invested in the community. People know him. It's just another person that used, dude. That's really it.
So why is he
That sounds
handling the
like it.
money?
Why
What'd
is
you
he
say?
what?
Why is he handling the money or
Sick?
Nate Dogg?
Well, Nate Dogg, I mean, honestly, I don't have no problem with that because if there's anybody in that whole fucking Discord that has maybe a proper head on their shoulders, it's Nate Dogg. But there's a lot of things I disagree with what he's done, and especially continuing to support Peak 53. But thank God, fucking Nate Dogg's handling the money. That's probably the best news that the Peak
No,
53
Nate
community
Dogg's
can
not
take in
handling
right
it.
now.
I think that DM is just confusing. I don't
Oh,
know what was.
No, yeah, I can confirm that Nate Dogg's not handling the money.
So was he
Yeah, I
paying
didn't
any
think
of them?
so.
So
I mean,
apparently,
you wouldn't even know. I mean, it's an NDA, right? So I mean,
actually, so apparently, when I left, right, I left, right, and I kind of just left my piece. I talked to, I think, was it Elite or one of
Probably,
you guys, and
probably
I
Sig.
just like, hey guys, I left, and here's my side of the thing if you ever
Oh, that
wanted to
was
hear it.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then I just like went incognito. I did my own thing. I moved on to my own games and started producing my own stuff. Then all of a sudden on YouTube, I noticed like was it you Elite or someone posted that video of like, oh,
the
Peak
list.
53
Yeah, it
scam
was
kind
me.
of thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remembered. I worked on that shit. What the fuck happened to it? So I picked my curiosity, and I'm like, oh, it's in the fucking shitter. Well, fuck 'em. And then it reminded me, oh yeah, what the hell? I went to the Discord chats of the other guys that worked with me, right? That try to defend Peak at the time, and my smug ass, right? Because like the way I handle revenge is like I like to. Like if I knew I was right on something, I go back years later. I'm like, hey, so how did that work out for you? So I literally went out there my way, and I went back to them. I'm like, yeah, so how did that game work out for you? And then it turns out that the guys that worked with me, right, that I left, right, the other devs,
Mm.
they were like, "Oh no, dude, that fucking piece of shit game fucking failed. I didn't get fucking paid for shit."
Hey, I'll tell
And
you. I'll tell you about the pain.
I didn't want to say that I got paid because they were fucking pissed. I
Let
got
me tell you
paid,
about it. Let me tell you about it.
and I didn't realize that he wasn't paying anyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh fuck."
So probably because after you left and he lost $2,000, he's like, well, I'm not doing that anymore. But so this is what happened. First of all, I was helping out for like I was probably helping out like for like 5 months at this point for totally free, no NDA. Like I wanted to be in the dev chat so
Mhm.
I could give him my feedback easier and like organized. And he's like, oh dude, like I don't know, maybe after the Kickstarter, blah blah blah. So anyways, after the Kickstarter, he's like, okay, I'm gonna invite you to the dev group. I'm gonna invite Sig too. Nate Dogg's already in it, but you guys gotta sign NDAs. And I was like, sure, fine, whatever. I want to help out because the game is like got so many bugs and we need to fix it. And he has money now, and he said he's gonna fix a lot of the bugs. So I signed it, right? And then he's like, okay, and I'm gonna offer you like a percentage of the sales, microtransaction sales. Um, I'll tell you the exact percentage. I don't care. He said, I'm gonna offer you 2.5% of microtransaction sales. And I don't know what if I know he offered something to Sick and Nate Dogg, and he was also doing this with his developers, the ones that you said that didn't get paid.
Yep. Yep.
obviously they were getting a higher percentage. I don't know the percentage, but I remember I was in voice calls and they were like, "So like, what's going on? Like, we're gonna get a percentage. Like, that's why they didn't want to work because they're like, Four's like, yeah, you're gonna get paid a percentage based like on how the game does.
So
So, but they're trying to basically work for free, and
yeah,
that's what we
yeah,
would do with
and that's the
everyone.
Yeah, we
thing.
gotta go down the list.
We
Eh,
will, we
But go
And
will.
ahead.
But
yeah, and
this is
that's
important
the
though.
thing though is let me comment on that before we move on. Is I can't really speak out for the other developers. I know they were against me when I was bringing up my ideas and changes, thinking that I was insane or a lunatic because they thought that they were just making what Four told them to make was just a SOCOM clone, and I was told something else. So that's where the conflict came, and then they try to call me out as I'm the lunatic or the one not being professional or whatever, and that's all under the water because I got them in my own discords in my own games because they realized that Four was a piece of shit. So and then they're like, yeah, no, we'll support.
I just
Anyways, but
I want to
yeah.
say though, for the
uh,
record, I
mhm.
never accept. I've only donated money to Peak. I never accepted even one penny. I did accept that offer, but this was before he released the item shop. And when I saw like the fucking mustaches, you had to pay for it, and it was all broken,
Oh
and
no,
Mustache.
people were
that's
like buying stuff and then not getting it, like
Bro,
Target
you
said.
got
yeah,
money?
yeah.
No, I
You got
didn't.
money?
I'm telling you, I've never
I was about,
accepted
I was
money.
about to say, bro, if you got money, I didn't get money. What the fuck's
I
going on,
never
bro?
sent
Like,
him any of my payment information. I've never got 1 cent. So I don't know about
shit,
everyone
I'll send
else.
him my payment information right now. Send me the money.
I don't know about everyone else that
It's like, dude, I feel like he fucked me
we're
sideways. I'm sitting here, I just prostituted for free.
no, but yeah,
No,
but
see,
Ugh.
that's the
that's what
thing
happened.
though.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that's the thing is like the reason why I got paid is because I don't
I mean, you were a
deal with
developer, so it makes sense. Yeah.
well, yes, but I'm speaking out for like the other devs that didn't get paid, which I didn't even realize that.
Damn.
And like the guy who did the guy he hired before me, right, to do the fucking climbing stuff.
Yeah.
He talked so much mad shit about him, and I thought, oh man, this guy sucks or whatever. I didn't realize, like, oh man, I didn't think he was that bad. Then when I actually talked to the guy after everything, and then I find out, no, he fucking just running his name through the mud. It was Four who was telling him to do a bunch of bullshit, and he's like, what the fuck? And he even said that Four, why are you building this shit on a sandcastle, basically? I'm like, yeah, okay, so then that explains why all this bullshit's broken. Anyways, but going back to the payment shit, right? I got paid because the way I handle things is I don't do I don't work that way with what's it called? Percentage offers. I only do direct payments. And I guess the other developers were leaning on the fact of getting the percentage cuts. I told them like, look, how I work, I get paid directly, otherwise I don't work because I put investment of my own time 130%. I always give 130% whatever you pay me into. I always just whatever it is, even if it's a small task, I always try to make it a point that I put the value where my mouth is, right? And and that's the thing is he paid me up front for that, but then he decides to change the idea and the direction he wants to go and what he originally paid me for. And I told him, "Wait, why are you doing this? This isn't why I was hired." Then I'm just going to do what was contractually agreed upon and just part ways, right? Because I told you I'm just going to offer you the HUD. We're going to make arrangements for the other stuff. He only paid me for the HUD, the menu system, and some overhaul stuff like that. That the contract was finished. I delivered what he wanted, and I walked away. But the thing is, the other devs, which I didn't know, right? They didn't get paid because I guess the money that he had from the Kickstarter was not even the money he earned from the Kickstarter. Now, let me lay you on with something really interesting. So, all the money he earned from that Kickstarter was his own money.
No, it wasn't.
Yes.
No, because Niet donated $7,000.
No. Well, okay, but the majority of it though, because remember that moment that there was like this huge spike,
Yeah, that was
right?
Niet's $7,000 donation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
There
total
a-
was 10,000. That had to be the goal, and overall, I think
Mhm.
he got 11 or 12. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could be wrong.
So what they did, right, which I'm gonna say anyways because it's a bit scummy, is they basically did like, oh, they weren't gonna reach the goal, and they just like, put their own money into it. So a lot of it's not really anyone's else money. So they weren't even gonna match the goal at that time.
You're
And
saying before Nate? How do you say his name?
Yeah.
Nate Dogg,
No,
Nate, Niet.
yeah, he donated. He has a deal. Four made him a deal. He's like, hey, yeah, it's like, hey, I want to donate, and basically they have a deal where Four is gonna pay him back or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, did donate that. That's where that huge spike was from, and I don't think. I mean, even if Four donate, like, that's 7,000. They got like 11,000.
So
I
wait, is it a
donated.
donation or he just borrowed money? Because that's what it
It's
sounds.
more of a borrow
I don't
situation.
know the exact details. I didn't see any contract. I'm just telling you what I heard verbally.
Yeah.
But
I
that's 7,000, and Stealthy donated 500. I donated 250. Some other people. I mean, I don't think they donated more than. If you're saying they donated, they must have not donated more than like $1,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and let me so I'm going to tell you guys something really funny because it's like when I heard that what really occurred with that shit, I was like, well, you guys went about it the wrong way. Why'd you end the project so soon, the Kickstarter? If I was the one running it and I wanted to do something like that, I would have like made it seem that it was being popularized, put in a shit ton of money into it to get the attention of these huge streamers to then start investing into it, and then just keep going, keep the money going. That's
have
just
to
the way
stop.
I do things if I wanted to do some schemy
I
shit.
mean, that brings us
right,
back down to fucking Four being that little kid in a big truck.
right,
You
right,
know,
right.
fucking shit. He doesn't know how to steer it. He's just gonna hit that bump
Yeah.
90 miles per hour, no seatbelt. That's what it is, dude. I mean, it's Four's whole
but-
life, dude. And it sucks because I hope he fucking gets his shit together. But it's so
Fuck
Yeah.
him.
it's depressing, man. I mean, 100% F him, bro. You know, I never want to see somebody hurt, but it's like if anybody deserves to like get slapped in the face and have a huge wake up call, it's Four and Poppy.
Nah,
Yeah,
more like fucking waterboarded to the last inch of his fucking breath.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Here's the
Yeah,
thing, though.
man.
He gave you
USA.
$2,000, right? He didn't pay anyone else. He got 11,000. So what happened with that other
Yeah, where's the
$9,000?
other fucking money, right?
And that's not just that. People donated through Discord, which is also donated. So I
And he
estimate that he
wasted
got
it.
like
Yeah,
$30,000 to $40,000 before
and he
taxes.
wasted the majority of that on asset packs.
See what I'm saying?
Maybe spent like $5,000 on
Yep.
asset.
Yeah. Bro, there is fucking asset packs that are like fucking just straight up rip off on the marketplace, and it's like, who in the right mind would ever buy these? I guess apparently
Bro,
him.
and I was telling him, bro, and I was like, bro, Four, you have a person who knows military tactics, knows all about weapons. I could have been your advisor. You're sitting here naming your fucking guns after stupid ass names. You could have gotten away with guns. The guns weren't fucking. Because I was telling him, you can name it real. The guns have a different model, but you could have named it the M4A1, the AK-40. You could have named it
Mhm.
shit like that. You didn't have to say the stupid names like that. And speaking on that payment shit, right? On the screen that I have up, um,
It's
I
blurry.
was giving them essentially because they was trying to. Okay, by the way, all of his responses in his chat is GPT. Like all of his shit is AI. Like all that professional speech AI. All of his fucking store shit AI. And I was like, you know what? For give me like 10 minutes, I'll come up with something. And I came up with this fucking story in within 10 minutes. Not even
Can you
going
zoom in
depth.
just a little? It's at 67%, so it's more readable.
Ah, oh, hold on.
There's a magnifying glass at the bottom right corner.
Yeah, I see. Let me see.
I think you
there
can
we go.
also middle mouse wheel in too.
Middle mouse.
But click first,
Yeah,
because
so
you're right now
the-
on the
Yeah,
There
there.
you go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. So essentially, I was telling him this is the story that you need to implement because it fucking makes sense. Why is it called Ink Corp? That's stupid. But whatever. I took what I had and I made a simple story out of it.
Yeah.
Called Incorp, dude, because they splash ink on you before they kill you,
No.
dude.
It's because Poppy is part of the writing process, which it does like she's like making some fake belief story. Like,
I think they mostly just use Chat GPT though.
well,
They
they do,
did.
but like they're putting their ideas like, oh, make me an idea for a game that's like slightly futuristic, and that's what they're doing.
Mm.
Like, what is ink though? Like, you're for real though. Like, what the? I guarantee they would come. It sucks because like
Oh, they're techno
everything you say
terrorists.
against their game, bro, they'll literally sit there and make up a fucking story like they planned it the whole time, bro. They'll probably do like, oh, that means international navy concealment. You know, like they'll fucking just make up some shit, dude. And that's what 4 does. It's like, just say that you don't know what you're doing. I'd rather 4 say, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing, but I hope you have a fun time playing the game, and I'll be honest with you. Okay, 4, yeah, 100%. But he just
That's what
doesn't do it.
you can't let his ego get out of the way. Like he
Exactly. He'll sit there
he
with that
told
shit-eating grin, bro, and lie to you.
yeah, like it's his ego, bro. He knows that he like hit his wall like of development. He doesn't know how to fix certain things like the voice chat. He keeps saying like, "Oh, it's in the game. It works. It doesn't work. It's never worked." But he can't just admit that to people. If he just admitted that to the community, it's like, "Hey, I'm not really like fucking developer. I'm just a guy that likes SOCOM. Like, I need
Yeah,
help."
Yeah, you get
100%.
more respect out of that because he's being truthful, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Hell
he's
Exactly.
yeah,
just being who
people
he
love
really
when you're
is.
genuine, dude. They can feel that and like, oh, you know what? Okay, yeah, fuck yeah. If you
Yeah,
mess up, you mess up, but at least be real with us. Don't act like you're this some fucking professional studio going on when it's just you
Right.
and your unemployed girlfriend doing the work, and it's like it's crazy. It's just be
yeah.
honest, you
I
know?
mean, like
And
I
he
run my own indie studio, right? Because it's just self-publishing shit, right? And it's like if people ever give me feedback on shit and or call me out on something that's like broken, I'm like, "Oh, that's clearly broken. Okay, I'll fix it. Let's get this shit done." Or I'm open to suggestions like, "Hey, bro, this color doesn't look right. Maybe change it to that." Okay, let's test it out. Let's have a discussion. Let's test this shit. I'm not that I don't get it how some of these developers or so-called developers, right, have a stick up their ass about, "Oh, I'm perfection. Oh, I'm a higher up person or I worked with this studio so I know what I'm saying," kind of shit. And it's like, "Dude, who the
Yeah.
fuck are you?"
I want
Especially
to say
when
one more
you're
thing, and then
indie.
I want Lizard to go in on. Oh, what you're
Sure.
saying? Sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
Stealthy.
yeah, yeah.
No, that was it. I was just saying, especially since he's indie or he's trying to be an indie developer,
Mhm.
to have that ego when you haven't done anything yet. But yeah, go on.
No, it's all right. Lizard, go on, brother. I don't want to take away from you.
Yeah, yeah.
You're dropping good points, though. I agree with everything that Lizard said so far. It is what it is, and there's so many receipts you can go on, and it's just
yeah,
it's what Thor's whole fucking professional career has been. Just a
yeah.
mess.
I'm trying to we're almost halfway through. I'm trying to get through this 37
I'm gonna
stuff.
have to hop off soon, but keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know when you got about 5 minutes, and we'll give you the closing comments. And if you want to leave, you can.
Probably in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll come
Got you.
back around.
What
So
what are we at for time?
Oh wow, I think 2 hours and 2 minutes I've got here.
All right,
well,
yeah, I can
I
probably
would
make
have.
it an even 3. If
Yeah, I would
I'll
have. I
stick
could
around
have.
till the end.
I
Okay.
got you. I could have went through 37 within like the hour and a half mark, but tangents. But so essentially Forbes, he's not even good at his own game. Like he'd get fucking smacked. Like he'd get mad. He'd get mad because he'd get his ass whooped in his own game and shit like that. And that's part of the reason why he'd be raging and shit.
That's a good point you bring up, because then that brings up the topic on him being accused by someone named Dougie, who said he was pulling up the admin view and cheating actually on a second monitor, and that's how he would get better at the game. What do you guys
Yeah,
think
they
about
caught
that?
him, dude. Yeah, 100%.
You believe that is
How the
true?
They
fuck
caught
you?
him, dude. And like during his own launch day, his own launch day, he would stack teams. He would literally absolutely obliterate newbies that were joining the game. He wasn't trying to make it better, bro. It was always like, and I get it, bro. You want to play your game, you want to have good stats, you want to enjoy yourself, but at a certain point, you got to bite the bullet and be like, you know what? New players are on. I'm going to be on the new person's side. Nope. 4 right away would have been like, if you have a bald head, because people that had a bald head means they didn't donate, they didn't buy a skin. He'd be like, if you had a bald head, you deserve to die. Let's kill these baldies. I mean, four made up the whole thing, dude. Like from day one, it was just he always cared about the game and how good he was doing. And if he wasn't doing good, he would end the stream and
He would
or
turn
he
off
would
the server.
completely change. Yeah, he would turn off the server or change the map entirely mid game. It'd be like round 6 and the game's about to end, and he would change the map, be like, "Oh, I wanted to play this." Well, it's like, it doesn't matter what you want. What did your community want?
What? Bro, that's actually thanks for bringing that up, bro. Because when that happened, every time I would say, "What the fuck happened to the game?" He'd be like, "Oh, this is something. It's a glitch." I'm like, "What?" So the whole time it wasn't a glitch. That was literally him just fucking changing
That's
maps.
what I would hear too, Lizard. That
Wow, yeah.
something shut down or something. And I've even
Yeah, it'd
heard
be like
people
round
accuse.
7, dude, and he would just change
You
the
just
game, and
get
it's like,
mad.
how can you rely on content creators to make content for a game if you're changing the lobby every time, you know? It's impossible, bro. And then on top of that, he was, don't get me wrong, I like to drink every now and then, especially during Peak 53 days. We'd always drink, bro. It was almost like part of the culture. So many moderators in there would drink, and we'd all drink, and it's just a bunch of guys almost like at a bar having a good time, playing video games, chilling out together. But then 4 would just take it to another level. He would just get belligerent, drunk, and scream, dude. Which, okay, if you could do that if you're just a player, but you can't do that if you're the fucking game developer streaming on live. And
Yeah.
that's why so many people have videos of him going belligerent.
Yeah, I mean, it sets a negative precedent as the supposed creator of the game. You're acting like a complete asshole and clown. That's not going to look good towards your community or the product itself. You're going to just make yourself look like an ass.
Yeah, 100%. And I sympathize with drinking. It's hard to get off, or it's so easy to kind of just indulge yourself a little too much because it's so accepted. But, how does he not have his, like, the conscience speaking to him, that little guy on the shoulder saying, "Hey, I should probably not do that. I could get plastered if I want, but maybe I shouldn't be in voice chat." But he just didn't have that. And if you don't have that common sense to not do this, how do you have the common sense to lead anything anywhere?
But
Yeah,
part of it is
exactly, bro.
because you get people like McNasty around, him,
Exactly,
and
a
they
bunch of yes men.
yeah, and they just like boost his ego up even more and more. So he doesn't. The people around him who are telling him like, "Hey, you gotta fucking stop acting like that," or "Hey, you gotta fucking fix this game." He doesn't want to hear that. He only wants to hear people saying, "Hey, you're fucking amazing. Here's some more
Mhm.
money. Let me
Yep.
suck your dick and the balls too." And anyways, that's all I had to say. I'm
I mean,
high.
it
So
is. You're, no, you're right, bro. Because what 4 thrives on, and I'll be real. I'll be 100%. I don't know. I can't speak for you guys, but 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this was me. Where he thrives on people that are desperate, and I mean desperate as in if you're looking for a community, you're looking for a friend group, or say if you're just desperate, looking for another SOCOM. And then he also thrives off just lying and deceit and manipulation, everything like that. He thrives off insecurity. He thrives off that. He surrounds himself with a bunch of people that are yes men. And why are they yes men? Because they're insecure. Not all of them, not all of them. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there where they're just yes men because they don't
they want
care
so
to look up. Yeah, they want SOCOM, but they also don't care to even educate themselves on the past. They don't care what happened in the past, what happened to socomjohn, Elite, anything like that. They only care about when they joined the Discord and anything happens after that. And
yeah.
that's what 4 has surrounded
Mhm.
himself with, bro. A bunch of people that are ignorant and or just lazy and just, I don't know, just insecure, I guess. That's the biggest way to put it.
Yeah, that's I can confirm with that. I mean, I I think the best approach to handling any kind of Discord channel or community, is not to surround yourself with yes men, but to surround yourself with people who hate you and get their feedback. Because the people who hate you will give you the truest feedback of who you really are and what they view you as rather than someone who's just going to always suck your cock, right? I in my Discord stuff, right? I'm always open to everybody, right? Anybody can join me. People who hate me, people who love me, it doesn't matter. I always love their feedback because at least they acknowledge me, you know?
Yep.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
glad you said
yeah.
that, dude, because I wanted to say this, but I kind of blanked on my mind.
Mhm.
So I feel like 4, how 4 got angry every single time somebody would like come in the voice chat and give criticism. I feel like 4 forgot he's even lucky people are doing that. He's lucky
Right?
that someone took the time out of their night to play your video game and then give you input on that. 4 forgot about that, like the scenario where there's people out there making a game and they can't get people to play it. 4 just completely went to like he got a completely big head and thought he was the man because he got a following and he got 14K donated and he had a bunch of Kickstarters that were successful. He forgot that he's even lucky people are giving him input. But he just went to almost like he acted like he was the man, dude. He was like, "Oh yeah, I don't need that. I don't need the input. Go to go to the proper channels for it." It's like, dude, you're a developer with your girlfriend. You're, I mean, not really a developer, you know what I mean, but you're a
You'd say
small
design,
group.
map
Yeah,
design.
but like he's a small group, dude. Like you're a two-man team and you're mad that somebody's giving you input. You should be happy as hell somebody's even taking the time out of their day to give you that input.
That's true, and a lot of developers and publishers make that mistake. Really big ones too. Like we
And it's
see with
stupid.
Concord and a few other games that release.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid because there's literally a phase in game development called Q&A, quality and assurance. When you fucking get better better players to test your game. That's literally the whole phase of it. But people like him don't understand that. And fucking, I'm just gonna braze through a whole bunch of these here. Fucking, he admitted that his game was a failure. I don't know if it's a receipt or not, but he did admit that. We already touched on his failure to do the constructive criticism. We already did the ignore my messages. We already did the asset. We touched on a lot of things.
So I have a question about
Mm,
banning. So
Yeah.
do you think that was what caused the downfall of his success? Is just banning people from the Discord? And what do you think on
Mm,
that comment that they gave during my podcast? If you didn't hear it, where they're like, "Yeah, we banned them out of the Discord, but they still have access to the game, so they can play the game
I want to talk
anytime."
about that. I want to talk about
Yeah,
it.
I'd love to hear the answer from everybody. So if we can go from like elite down, bro. Like I want to hear everybody. Or
So
lizard
he asked.
down, I mean. Lizard elite and then me if you
okay,
can.
Oh,
go.
So as for me, his biggest downfall was not the banning. His biggest downfall was his attitude and his drunkenness. And his
There you go.
stubbornness.
Yep.
His attitude, his drinking problem, and his stubbornness is the three main pillars why he's failed. Because yes, he banned people, but they still have access to the game. But the
No.
thing is that it was him and his attitude towards other players was the fucking reason why people stopped playing, bro. Because when I first got on, and I admit, even though this man is ass at making games, when we did have some good times. So come John, Elite, all of that. We all had good times on it when it actually worked properly. And but the fucking thing was is that, like I said, he just didn't know how to make his game, and then he bitch and complain when people beat his ass in his own game, and then fucking cheat about it, and then not fix any bugs about it, and then not listen to nobody. So yeah, that's my stance. You can go ahead, Killer.
Okay. Well, I just want to talk about the banning because first of all, you said like, oh, you only ban people from the Discord, but they can still play the game. But Stealthy, like after he made it a paid version of the game, it was free to play, and he made it a paid version. Um,
yep.
he's like they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna be able to play it still if you have it on your library. But then once they released the paid version, no one could play it. And then it's like, oh, you have to, at first it was like, oh, you have to go in the Discord and get this file, and you're gonna download it, and it's gonna be the game files that you're missing, and then you're gonna be able to play. But then
Yep.
if you're banned from the Discord, you can't do that. And then later on, it was like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna send everyone a key if you played the game. But then if you're blocked and you can't join the Discord, you can't get the key. So now you paid for something and you can't get access to it, which is what happened to me. And I had to ask all the admins. I was like, not because I wanted to play, but because I just wanted to see if he was gonna deny me the game. Like after I donated $1,000, help with the fucking feedback, help with the Discord, all that bullshit, and
It
he
took a
didn't want
lot
to
of
give it to me. He didn't want to give it to me. So that's just a lie. First of all, you're the one that convinced him to give me a key because
Yep.
probably because he wanted you to fucking talk positively about him on your
He wanted
YouTube
you
or
to
whatever.
take down your YouTube videos.
Yeah, he wanted me to take that
Eventually,
shit down. And hell no. And he also tried to get my YouTube channel taken down. Like I got messages from YouTube like on all my videos like, oh, someone's like like a legal thing. It's like, oh, someone's saying that you're using their private information and blah blah blah, and I just privated all the videos until the timeline went away, and then I just put them back up. But anyways, yeah, that's all I had to say about the banning. Like he
Yeah, but I can attest to that. That's true. We had to get rid of the folder, the files he sent, and then he sent keys to everyone. And the way they were doing it, you'd have to message one of the admins, and then he'd confirm, yeah, in the admin chat, yes, we can give him a key. He did support previously, and then they'd give him the key. So that is true. If you were banned from the Discord, you had no more access to the game. You had the old version, which is on Steam, and you can't play it anymore. But to touch on that more, like, you can't even play the game now. There's no more servers to be able to host. You can't create your own lobbies. You got to rely on him running it on his hardware or one of his admin's hardwares. So it's really a bad situation overall.
Which is funny, dude, because he had the audacity. I know his alternate account, and it always comments on my YouTube videos. He had the audacity to blame me. This is probably like maybe a month ago, where he said I was complaining about Peak 53 because I wasn't popular enough to get like players to play on there. When literally about 50% of people that joined the Discord, they had a little section where you could say where you heard Peak 53, where you first heard it. People be socom John, socom John, socom John. And the guy had the audacity to blame me, where it's like, oh, you're not popular enough. That's why people aren't playing my game. And I'm like, I'm doing this all for free, dude. Like it was insane.
I think
Yeah, you
if
But
he
made him.
didn't ban everyone, that the game would still be have players on right now.
oh, 100%. If me and him had that quarrel and like argued a little bit, but he didn't ban me and he kind of just shut his mouth and everyone kind of calmed down,
Not
we
just
would have
you
been
though. It's
fine,
been
dude.
so many people. It was Blaze, Aries,
Well,
Well, yeah,
Lazy.
yeah, 100%. We can go. This
There's like
there's a line, dude, a
well,
list.
50 to 100 people.
I would interject with that though is even if he never did ban anybody, right? Because I'm gonna be with what Target said because I don't think it's the reason why. Yeah, it does hurt communities when you do shit like that, but that's not the reason why it failed. It was doomed to fail from the beginning. It's just he overhyped it to where you would see that there's a potential for it, but when you get behind the lens and you're actually in there, I saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, the direction the ship was going, I tried my best to say, hey, let's kind of dodge the iceberg, right? But apparently not so the case that he wanted to even listen to that.
Yep.
He's not
That's
Yeah, I mean, I
go ahead,
agree with
Phil.
Lizard, dude. It's Lizard said it first. It's drunkenness, and that's
well, it's
why
not
I
even
feel where
it's
it's like,
yeah, but it's not even that. Like the whole structure and everything, just like the core setup of the code and the game
The game
itself
is
was already doomed to
broken.
fail.
I mean, the game
And
was broke. I mean, dude, we were having. I mean, I'm not trying to argue with you at all. Like, I agree
oh
with
no
your
no no
points,
yeah
hundred
yeah
percent. But it's like I feel like 100%. If we go back to the fucking origin, dude, everything happened when he was just drinking and he was being belligerent. He would then cause rifts or arguments between him and other players, and then that
Mm.
would keep exploding, dude. It was all
oh well yeah
drunkenness, and
no,
it was
no
all
that added to the
unprofessionalism, and it was all just
mhm.
him arrogance, really,
Yeah,
just insecurity and arrogance.
that added to the whole situation here, but I'm looking at it from the broader perspective of the product itself, based on my knowledge of all the other SOCOM clones, because I gathered all this fucking data, right? I never played all the SOCOM games, right? I only played the first, third one, right? And the one that everyone hated. I love that one.
On the first third one, or you mean like the first and the third?
Yeah, that first one and
Okay,
then the
okay,
third one.
okay.
And I played the one everyone hated so much, but I loved it myself, me and my brother, just because
I
of
did
like the
as well.
interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But going forward, I did my research on all the games, right? I was like doing all this back shit just because I wanted to make sure when I was designing something, right? I knew what I was talking about in terms of game perspective. And I was just researching all the data that I could to give and present a good structured game design document, which wasn't there. I was like, why you guys don't have a game design document?
You're not a
Anyways,
developer, bro.
And I
Yeah,
presented
look,
this shit with him, right? And I knew the direction this ship was heading because like I did research on okay, where's the current project status at? What's the files structure? What the fuck's going on, right? And I see that the ship's heading in straight for an iceberg, and I'm like, bro, just fucking curve the goddamn thing. They, stubborn, didn't want to listen, and it is what it is. So the project was doomed to fail because of the captain involved of direction. Now here's the thing.
bro,
On top
we
of
gotta
the
get through the
on
list,
top of
man.
oh okay, yeah, I'll just go real quick. He tried to sell the game for like $60. I told him no, you're gonna fucking lose everybody. This game's not worth $60. And then he what it is fit it went free, and I
15
told
now.
him yeah. All right, move on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it has been more than 10 minutes for Elite. I don't know if he wants to put in a last word before
I
leaving
mean,
or
what
continue.
else do you have to say, Target? Like, can you just tell me all the points on your list real quick?
Okay. So from 1 to 37, or what we haven't talked about yet.
Well,
I'd
we
just say
have
your most important topics, honestly, because we probably
yeah,
have covered so much,
Yeah,
and
we've
because
covered.
we
Yeah,
don't.
we've
I feel
actually
like
covered a
Thor
lot.
doesn't even deserve like 3 hours of podcast, dude. Like this guy's a dickhead.
Yeah, but the thing is that I want to be honest, I want to touch on the 37 topics like real fast, just get it out the way, and then the rest was going to be like, talking about SOCOM because that's part of my stuff.
uh,
But
I mean
yeah,
that's hard if you have 37 topics. One,
no,
you can
because
just
they were pretty easy. Like I just
Which
run
one
through them.
haven't you touched on yet that you want to talk about? Let's dive
Uh,
into it.
all right, so let me see, because we actually did, yeah, because we actually went through a lot of it, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's all those tangents.
here's what
We
yeah,
I want to
kind of
say
just went in.
actually, because I do need to go. So I just want to say, for the record, the reason why I got banned. Actually, let me share my screen. Okay. I see my screen.
I see it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is why I got banned because I saw what Ford was planning in the dev Discord. I didn't agree with it. I didn't like how he wasn't telling people what's going on with the game, like how he's gonna change it, talking about an extraction shooter. I already showed all the DMs in my videos. If you want to see that, you can go back and look at it. But I posted this message in the Discord, basically saying like, kind of hinting that he's moving in a different direction. And then I said like all the things that need to be fixed, like why people aren't playing, right? Bad servers with high ping, maps constantly repeat. You get fucking crossroads like 7 times in a row. The nades don't throw. There's no voice chat. There's no prone. Like just basic features in the game. There's no controller support. Like a lot of people donated just for controller support for the Kickstarter. The stats disappear randomly. All this shit that needs to be fixed before you try to go and make a whole different game. And I posted this. It instantly got deleted and I got blocked and banned. That's why I went on and made all the videos. And like I think Stealthy said, oh, they said it was my mission to destroy the game. Yeah, after I got banned, after all the time I spent helping and I donated money, $1,000, I was pissed. So I do want to see the game fail. It is failing, and I'm happy about that. And Four is a fake Christian. He always fucking quotes Bible scriptures about forgiveness, but he doesn't forgive anyone. And Poppy is also a piece of shit. McNasty is also a piece of shit. Fuck P53.
Elite,
That's all
could
I have
you
to say.
pull the features list for Monarch? Didn't you tell me that like a lot of them aren't even available? Like ladder
Yeah.
climbing was claimed to be on there, and
I mean, I don't know where I don't have the list on hand, but yeah, I mean, he does that, right? He said he put voice chat in. He said it works. It doesn't work. He said he's got ladder climbing in. It doesn't. He doesn't have ladder climbing. Like that's the thing. That's why people aren't playing. It's not just because people got banned. It's not. Yeah, he also doesn't know how to develop a game. He's building a game on a sandcastle, whatever. But no one wants to fucking play an alpha build of a game over and over with the same bugs over and over. And then he's complaining, "Oh, we're not getting donations." No one wants to
And
fucking
listen to
find
a
out.
drunk screaming at you,
Yeah, and
dude.
listen
Like
to some
fuck's
drunk
sake.
guy screaming about. Listen to some drunk guy scream at you about your fucking KD in a game where the fucking stats disappear when you leave the game, or if
People
the
can't even pay $2,
yeah.
dude. They can't even do $2, man. Like, dude, like fuck off.
So
It was crazy, man.
Oh my god, I guess it got worse when I left.
oh yeah,
Bro,
bro.
I have dreams about it, dude. Night sweats, dude. I wake up in the middle of the night.
So yeah,
Fucking,
on
it's
record,
crazy.
I just want to tell Elite on record, I don't fault you for anything you were doing. I was kind of playing the double agent there to get everything out, and I think I was successful in doing it. And
Yeah.
Essentially.
yeah, so I don't fault you for putting the word out to stop anyone else from getting scammed and purchasing the game.
Wait, are you still on my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody out there that could say
I'll show you.
something about Peak53, it should be Elite, right? I mean,
Wait,
he's
Yeah, he
fucking
was on the
$1,000 into the game, dude. It's like, and he's not even listening to his biggest supporter, dude. Elite was there from day one. We were there
Yeah,
from day one.
show the
and I
Trello
feel
board
like yeah,
That
go
was
ahead
one
and
of my
show the
points
Trello
actually.
board.
because I'm
Was
still in
that
it.
he yeah, my point was that
Oh,
literally he literally banned and slandered so many people that busted their ass just for free now. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
paid and some of them for free, trying to help this man to get the product out. And he just like he's one of those people, bro. Like, how you gonna do that to people who were supporting you and then bitch and complain about the consequences?
Yeah. It looks like they deleted everything, but I don't know.
Of
Poppy said in
course,
the
of course.
podcast that I didn't help with anything. Totally fucking false. I put every single bug people were reporting, I was putting in the Trello board and bugging his developers. Oh, fix the fucking grenades. They don't fucking go. Actually, wait. Oh, here it is, right here. You can see I got big fries.
See, if
fixed my
this was public for people to see and know what they're putting money into,
Well,
this would have
he just
definitely
wanted
helped.
people to see all the
I
problems.
mean, it really is, dude. If you search Peak53 on YouTube, me and Elite's videos are gonna be the first that pop
But
up.
you can
People are
see
just they don't care, dude. They don't fucking put in the effort to like search and be like, you know. And I could say the same thing about myself. You know, I should have never invested in 4 because I should have looked up 4 in his previous projects and been like, you know what, no. So it's hard to blame people, but it is what it is. I mean, people just don't look up shit anymore half the time, especially if you're a socommer. We're all like 30 and 40 years old. We don't care about going on YouTube. We just hop on a game and play because we barely even have time to chill, let alone look up stuff about what game we're about to play.
Did he put big fries?
Bro, Big Fry. I kind of want to say
That's
something, but
another
I
thing,
ain't
bro.
gonna
I
tell. I ain't
fucking
gonna say nothing about Big
defended this
Fry.
motherfucker from Big Fry, and he fucking had the
Are you showing
audacity to
the
block my
Snapchat?
ass. This is a Trello board, but
Oh, I thought you were
I'm just
showing that kissy face, dog face
no,
Snapchat
Was
filter,
that
dude.
you
I'm like,
or four that put that?
no. I put that. I'm a jokester and shit.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have any problem with Big Fry. I was just defending the game until
I don't, but I don't know if I should say it, but
nah.
you
Anyways,
can't
Speak
even
your
have a
mind.
big problem.
I put hundreds of
Sorry.
hours in this game. If they're saying I didn't, they're fucking liars. Poppy's a piece of shit. Ford's a piece of shit. McNasty's a piece of shit. Justice for John Wisdom. Okay, I gotta go.
Thanks for joining, Elite.
Okay. Wait, actually, on that note, wait, one more thing. Just for the stream.
You're
Oh
a
my God,
you're a
dude.
person. You're a person. 180.
What does that have to do with
You're
anything?
I can't
nothing.
hear shit.
What are we
Wisdom.
talking about, bro?
Shut
Can you hear the soundboard?
the fuck up, wisdom.
No, I think I muted all soundboards.
Yeah, you never know.
Was it 4 screaming? I could already I just picture it in my
Yeah,
head, dude. See, I didn't even have to hear it, dude. I know what it is.
All
It's
right,
just
that's
it's so many.
Is this guy?
All right, Elite brother. It was good
Alright.
talking to you, man. Appreciate you.
See you guys. Bye.
and fucking yeah, we did get through a lot of good points. And well, the reason why I left was simply put, bro. Oh, also another thing, I am not gonna lie to you. There was people in the community where I was like, dude, Four's a piece of shit, because I was doing some research too and found out, I was trying to warn people about him, and everybody was painting me out to be crazy, this fucking negative, super negative, toxic person. They're like, oh, dude, you're just so negative. I'm like, what are you talking about, negative, dude? Epic Games themselves denied you of a fucking grant. That's telling you something. I'm just trying to help. And then I just got tired of it, and it was like, you know what, fuck this. I'll just leave. And fucking, that's the reason why I left. And he admitted his game was dead, and they were ignoring my messages. And the one of the biggest things that pissed me off was how Ford wouldn't give me any access to any of his fucking games so I could work on the maps. But there's this dude named Gladman who was also a drunk motherfucker, who's also a dick sucker for Ford. And he'd be like, he literally text me and message me, do I have the screenshots? Um, he he fucking asked me how do I do certain things? Like, hey, how do I put this in the Unreal Engine? How do I do this? How do that? And like motherfucker, how the fuck, why the fuck would Ford give you access and you don't even know the engine, but me knowing the damn engine, knowing how to fucking put shit down and put stuff together, didn't even tell me or even come up to me and be like, hey, can you help? Nope. Just, hey, I'm gonna give it to a completely random person only because he sucked dick.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
and here's another, and that's another big thing. The reason why they deleted the old, yeah,
Oh,
hold
they
on.
deleted the Discord? What?
Yeah, they fucking deleted the Discord, bro. They deleted the fucking Discord. Not yeah. Hold on, let me
When it
wait
rains, it
till
pours, I guess, huh?
Joe,
I-
bro. He deleted his old Discord, and the reason why is not because he tried to play it off like because he put a big ass fucking message in the chat was like, oh, it's a fresh start, fucking, Jesus forgave us of our sins, so I'm gonna do the same. That code that plays into the fake Christian shit Elite was talking about.
Yeah, according to Elite, it's
Yeah,
to avoid giving everyone their outfits,
yeah, bro. And like
and
he
No, no,
would,
100%. He deleted his Discord because I
mm,
guarantee he knows people can just go through it and find so much dirt on him because he's been such an asshole, a blatant asshole publicly for so long. It's like, do I go back and delete every message I ever said in the Discord, or do I just delete Discord?
yeah, and it didn't
He's
make
definitely
sense
that's
because
it.
he had 1,000 people in the original one, and the new one only has 200 to 300 afterwards. And I did ask for about that, and he said, "Oh, I have 1,000, but if only 3 people are showing up to community nights, then why does it matter? So I'm gonna delete it anyways to get new people in here."
That's
And
how he used to talk to me, dude. Like he's like, why should I show up if only 2 people are gonna play? And I told him because I was like, if you're not gonna play your own fucking game and show up for your own community night, how do you expect other people to do that? Especially like how little of a community you have.
Yeah, he said the same shit to me. It's like, why would we sell the game at such a low price? How are we gonna pay ourselves?
well, if
By
he
having a
would
job, like have a fucking job. That's one dude. Like, it's
or build
it's
your
like me saying I
community.
want to be a fucking astronaut tomorrow, and I'm like, you know what? While I'm going to astronaut school, I'm gonna quit my job. And I'm just gonna live at home and try to become an astronaut. No, you can't fucking do that. You gotta make sure you can support yourself. Make sure your wife or girlfriend's financially set up and you're comfortable, and then pursue any type of hobby. That's what it is. And he didn't
exactly.
do that
Mhm.
route. He made himself suffer. He made himself desperate, and that's all he is right now. He was desperate a year and a half ago, so I can't even imagine how desperate he is now. And like another thing that's bothering me, and this is the last thing I'll say, I was watching your podcast, Stealthy, and one thing that Poppy said, I think the mugs came up. You know, the mugs that I sent him for
Yes.
free, and she was like, I didn't ask him for mugs. Like, why? Like, I didn't need these. Like, who asked for a Christmas gift? Who says, "Oh, socom John, you should send me mugs"? You know, I did it out of the kindness of my heart. Everything she ever says is just like, I could rebuttal it instantly, but she
Yeah, it was
just
a gift. It was Christmas time,
exactly like
and
who
there's
asks for
no
mugs on
reason. It,
Christmas? I sent it
yeah.
to you because I thought we were friends, but apparently not. That's just how it is.
That's actually what I was gonna bring up earlier, but I forgot I was gonna say that too, but I forgot. But yeah, bro, that shit was like that hit me too, cause I was like, what? Y'all were cool as fuck, and y'all gonna sit there and say that to him? Literally one of the biggest person that he socom John was the biggest fucking person in the Discord who literally backed the game, even though Ford was clearly disrespectful to his communities, didn't even treat me or SOCOM John the right way. SOCOM John still tried his best to be like, you know what, it's a SOCOM project. I'm gonna see it through. And he didn't fucking appreciate that.
Appreciate you
So
saying that, man, because it sucks. It really does.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No,
bro, like
that's terrible because it's like, if he's willing to treat, you know supporters and fans that way, man, I could just imagine how terrible he is in real life.
yeah, they wanted me to
It's gotta be
be
scary, dude. Imagine that the fucking 250-pound gorilla, drunk gorilla, walking around your apartment. I feel bad for Poppy, bro. I'd
I
be like,
snap his
God,
neck.
Yeah,
I know
no,
you would, but I mean, Poppy's like what, like 5'1". I don't even
no,
know. I
I
mean, she
think they're
looks it.
both in on it though on that end. I'm just saying that him as a type of person, right? It's just terrible that you would treat your own fan base like that, or even supporters that believed in you, right? You're like, oh no, I don't need your belief or support.
Yeah.
Still buy my game. And it's like, what the hell is that kind of shit?
Yeah, like I said, dude, like I'd edit a 5-minute video montage and it would take me 7 to sometimes 13 hours just editing it. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm a perfectionist and it would kill me, bro, because he wouldn't even comment on it. The whole time I made videos, he never left a comment on my video. And I know
Never.
it's kind of petty, but he never commented, bro. He never said like, "Oh, nice video, socom John," this and that. It's like he ignored me, but expected me to continue making videos. That's the
Yes,
type of no love I felt, bro.
and to piggyback off of that, he never said thank you. But the moment he got on the podcast with Big Fry, it was over. He bitched about it the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
He gave him a fucking issue about it the moment Big Fry showed up.
For the latest Monarch review.
Yeah, bro. Like he didn't say thank you nor nothing. But as soon as he's fucking seen that podcast, Hippie Poppy was like, "Yeah, fucking, you did this, you did." Cause that's what I mean by Hippie Poppy's a piece of shit, just like Ford. She just knows how to control herself. Cause like she was in on it. Cause I think she brought it up first, and then fucking Ford got in and was like, "Yeah, why'd you do this?" Blah blah blah. I'm like,
Oh yeah, when I gave Big Fry a voice on the
yeah,
podcast, right? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was
Oh, yeah,
bitching
that
about
does
it, bro.
remind me. Do you think they took that as a stab in the back that
Oh,
you
100%.
told her to join on Green Up podcast, but then instead you went with Abel Green and Big Fry?
Well, no, I went with that like after the fact. Like that was way. I think honestly before maybe even. I'm trying to get my because it's been like 2 years since all this happened, or maybe a year and a half.
Yeah,
But
I think it was
it's
before the whole wisdom thing, and then
yeah, it's just because I was doing exactly what you did, bro. You know, I'm not. You weren't trying to pick sides. You were trying to give everyone a voice. You're just trying to present the facts, and you let your community determine what they want to do in their own opinion. You know, I tried
yeah,
to do that, and Four was like, "You're stabbing me in the back," and I was thinking like, dude, I'm trying to keep a good relationship with Big Fry because do you think he's ever going to come back to your game or give it a shot if you're just being an asshole? You know, it brings me back to my point that I said like 2 hours earlier in this podcast. You get more bees with honey than vinegar. You know, you can't just be a dickhead all the time. And that's what I don't know. I
I
could go
agree.
on and on.
I do agree. So, yeah, we can wrap this up. Give some final
Yeah.
thoughts, final words. Unless Lizard, I don't know. You still want to go through that 37 list? And
Well, to
we're
be
going
honest,
on.
we pretty much touched on everything, really. And I just want to talk about to be honest, I want to hit on these 37 topics like the first hour and then bullshit for the rest of the time, but I get it didn't go out that way. But
I think it would flow nicely either way, bro. Like I think if you send him all the pictures that you have and he could just overlay it for when like we're talking and people can just like pause the video and see for themselves like you know, you might not be talking about that exact picture at that moment, but as
Mhm.
long as like all that shit's out there and people can pause it and all the proofs there, I think we did a good job either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Elite
it
did
just we
zoom in
slandered
on.
them. Yeah, we pretty much
Not even
fucking
slander, just truth at this point.
No, yeah,
yeah, we drug his ass, so
it
you know.
it just show facts and truth of what really happened. You know, because it's like there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's devs, it's YouTubers, it's gamers, it's the whole community in general. There's not one person he didn't screw over in some way.
And
Yeah.
what pisses me off is that the game is such a simple game, but he made it out to be something bigger. And that's what pisses me off because like it pisses me off and kind of amazes me at the same time just how much support the dude had from a person he
40,000 lines of code
that
or
wasn't
whatever
even
it was.
his.
Yeah, he's like, I made 40,000 lines of code. And it's like people can do that in a day, dude. It's like, ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it wasn't
Skyboy
even
could tell.
his. It was marketplace asset. It was literally a marketplace blueprint, so it wasn't even his. And like the game was so fucking simple. All he had to do was shut the fuck up, be a humble little bitch, and listen. But he didn't. And this is what happens.
Bro, all he had to do was remake a game from 2002 or 2004
Yeah.
with all these new advancements in the technology, and he still couldn't do it. With $20,000, $30,000 in his pocket from donators, he still couldn't do it, and that's depressing.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
Sony
also told
doesn't
him,
listen most of the time to, or even in the past with Slant Six and other companies that took over SOCOM, they never used to listen to the community, and you can see the whole history of the downfall of SOCOM.
Yeah,
No, I watched
like
those
Skyboy said, dude.
videos. Yeah, I watched all those documentaries and videos because, like, I whatever project I do, I have to do my fucking research, right? So it's like I I can only go for what I played and then just actually do real research on why this game was made, why did this one fail,
Yeah,
what was the community's result on this, right? This that kind of shit. And that's the thing. It's like I read those, I watched those documentaries and shit, and I knew that the problem was a lot of them, yeah, they didn't listen to their community or the features that they pushed was completely not what the community wanted, or it's like some bullshit of like they try to do like hero shooter crap and other shit that like what the fuck is this crap, right?
Like
It's not a
SOCOM
tactical
4
shooter anymore.
meets
yeah,
Call of Duty.
Skyboy. So, can I ask you a question, Skyboy? When Four initially contacted you, what did he say that he wanted his game to resemble? Did he even say anything like, "Hey, I want my game to resemble more of SOCOM 2 with a little SOCOM 4 aspects," or did he
No,
just kind of give you just a blank sheet and you didn't really know
it
what he
was
expected?
basically it was basically a blank sheet, and he said, "I want my game to stand out away from the clones. You know, I don't want to be another clone." And I try to tell him that's a good direction because if you just become another SOCOM clone, you're gonna basically because he told me he wanted to bring in new people. He wanted to bring in a bigger crowd. He said he liked the SOCOM community, but he didn't like the fact that they were very stagnant, right?
Hmm.
In what they wanted, because like he appreciated that, but he wanted to figure out a way to attract new blood into that community. And I'm like, okay, well, I know how to do that. You just have to trust in the process and understand how to get from point A to point B. And that's where he hired me on top of doing the HUD stuff, right? To go forward and make up a plan.
Crazy to me, bro. Because even like what you just said, where it's like, oh, I want how what he told you, where hey, I want new people to join this. I want to create new things. That's like the opposite of what SOCOMers want, you know? People want a SOCOM clone. And hey, would it do great? Would 10,000 people play it? Probably not.
Oh yeah,
But
no,
would your
for a
target
fact, yeah.
audience would have been so pleased, and then you could have created another game. And I
Hmm.
feel like he made the same mistakes that SOCOM 4 made. He started making a SOCOM 2 clone, and then he was like, "Hold on, I want to add this feature. Hold on, I want to add this feature." And then
Yep.
it started to look like a Call of Duty slash SOCOM 4 slash not even SOCOM anymore. You know,
Yeah,
it
no,
got
and
completely
that's the
lost in its identity.
yeah, and that I agree with you because it's like I'm coming in here on board on the premise that he's trying to make something different and unique, right? He's trying to
Yeah.
offer a product that no one else can offer in terms of like trying to reach out for that kind of community while still
Yeah.
being a tactical shooter. And I'm like, okay, that's something I can get really behind on. The thing that I can't get behind on is when you go do one direction and then you change the boat and go in a completely opposite direction. I'm like,
Yeah, because this whole community is expecting a SOCOM
yeah,
2 clone, but then
yeah,
he's
and
adding
like,
his own shit into it. That doesn't
hmm
make any sense. It's crazy.
no, yeah, and it's like I'm on board with that kind of mindset of just keeping something like if you are a successor, well then just do a successor. That's not hard to do. Just the blueprint's there. The game is already made. Just replicate it. That's not that hard to do.
It's like having a recipe for a perfect
Yeah, it's
cake, and
right
you're like,
fucking
"Hold on, you
there.
know
And
what?
you
Let me
just yeah.
throw in this, that, this, that. Let me throw a hot dog in there."
Yeah,
No,
and
just
it's
fucking
like
stick to the recipe.
no, like if I was hired and that was the direction he told me to do, I'm like, okay, I'll just do exactly what was told with the SOCOM stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
yes,
the information's right
exactly.
there.
If
But he
only, dude.
didn't but he didn't hire me for that. So that's why it was like a complete like what the fuck moment for me when he decided to do another 180 on me and switch the direction. I'm like, I thought you hired me to do this shit, and now you're telling me no, this isn't SOCOM,
Yep, yep.
and I'm like, what
It
the fuck?
I can only imagine how much that sucks, dude. You put hard work into what you're presenting, and then the community is giving you backlash, but then you're only doing what you're asked. Ford told you to do this, and then when you give something, the community's like, "That's not SOCOM," and then he's like, "Oh, why'd you do that? That's not SOCOM." It's like the guy didn't know what he was doing. He just passed the puck, dude, and that's why he went through, I think, 10 developers, 20 developers in a year, where it's just a
Yeah.
constant recycle, dude. Like, hey, you're on for a month. Oh, he's banned. No one talk about him. You know, it's
Yeah, see,
what it is.
like how I would have handled this, right? Is if I was making a SOCOM, right? You either do a successor and a one-to-one recreation of that experience, which you're never really gonna get one-to-one, right? Because it just happened. Time moves on, or
Yeah.
you offer a new tactical shooter, a new type of tactical shooter that people can feel that passion for. And it doesn't have to necessarily be another SOCOM, right? It could just be its own identity.
Yeah, a
And that
military third-person
yeah,
shooter, just
you
a more
just
boots on the ground.
yeah. Yeah, and it's like you either go this direction or that direction. You never try to do middle ground because when you do middle ground, it always going to come up messy.
And that's why I say he's a scammer, dude, where he promised a
Mhm.
SOCOM 2 successor, aka a SOCOM 2. He said it was supposed to be a SOCOM 2 clone. He promised that, but then he wanted to add in his own flair to it. And if you're going to take people's money and promise something, you can't add your own flair. You didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to create a SOCOM 2 clone, but I'm also going to add this, this, and this, and this." No, he didn't say anything like that.
Yeah,
He
you
just
have
took
to
money
list.
and ran.
Yeah, and like that goes back to what I'm currently working with is the Gauntlet Legends community, and we're making a remastered version of that game. Um, and that's the thing is we're planning on doing uh, a complete overhaul of the game to where it's one-to-one, but we add extra quality of life features to that old school game because it's a very old ass game.
I
But
l I love the way you say it, dude. That's what 4 should have done. Quality
yeah,
of life improvements, not like
like
Bro,
drastic gameplay difference improvements.
no, no,
Quality
no,
of life.
yeah,
That's a huge difference, dude. Like, that's what he should have
yeah.
done.
And that's
that's
what he should have handled it, and that's what I'm handling it with the Gauntlet Legends community
yeah.
is because I'm helping the direction with that and the code. I'm helping that on the weekends, and the way we're approaching it is we're listening to the community and we're just gathering everybody's fun ideas to add into the game once we have the base game. So it's like we have all those ideas on the back burner, right? And the great thing away of how I'm handling it is with the gas system of Unreal Engine. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that, but it's a very modular set of a code structure that allows specifically for blueprints and stuff to be very modular. So then it's like if we have an idea for like a game feature and we want to just test it out, we can easily do so without affecting any of the child actors or stuff like that. For like example, if it doesn't work out, we just easily remove the ability.
Mhm.
Everything goes back to normal.
I'll say this, dude. Do exactly the opposite of whatever 4 did, and you'll be great.
Oh yeah, no,
Everything that
definitely.
4 did, do the opposite, and you have a
Yeah, yeah.
key set
It's
ingredient to be
like
perfect.
Bro, but
yeah.
the Peak 53, because I told him this. I said, dog, first off, because this is what he didn't understand. The reason why fucking SOCOM was the way it was because of limitation of software.
Mm-hmm.
This is UE5. Some
Yeah,
of
you
the
couldn't
maps
see
are,
across Night Stalker, bro, because
yes, like
like
some
you
of the
said, yeah.
maps were just, some of the maps were outdated to the point to where it just would not work. And I told him that. I was like, dude, there is a reason why there's the fucking reason why Call of Duty, when they put in their maps, they have to fucking modify it based on the game because there's certain maps where the shit is just so outdated. Like I remember first loading up on Peak 53, you could fucking throw a grenade across the map and you die. Like, you have to do stuff like that. The low poly shit, cut that out. The low
Yeah.
texture shit, cut that out. This is UE5, bro. It's very easy to make photorealistic graphics. Stop with all the PS2 bullshit. I can understand it's nostalgia, but that nostalgia is only going to get because I told him he was like four. I told everybody actually. I was like,
You cut out, I think.
Yeah.
bro, like for UE5 games, this does not look good. You need to update your stuff
Mm-hmm.
because this whole low texture, low poly bullshit You need to get out of here with that shit, man.
Bro, you
Like,
remember
come
he
on
tried to
now.
make Night Stalker and it was a bunch of Chinese stuff? It was like Chinese layouts and Chinese buildings. And I'm like, what the? This ain't fucking Night Stalker. What is this? And it's just a
Oh,
It's
bunch because
rice.
it's all pre-made assets, dude. It was
Yeah.
like Chinese lanterns. So it was like weird lion statues, and I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at, man?
Yeah.
And he would make maps in a day, and that shows you how much care he put into them. He would literally just bang it out.
Yeah. And
socom
that's
John, you should see it got worse with Monarch.
oh
I could
with
only
the
imagine. And
maps.
what the fuck's Monarch even mean, dude? What's Ink Corp mean? What's Monarch mean? What's
I
Peak
Oh,
don't know.
53 mean, dude? Are we skiing on a mountain? What's Peak 53? What is that,
Oh,
dude?
so let me
Is this a peak of
interject
his
with
professional career?
oh,
Because probably.
well, let me interject with that comment on the on what you said before with that on the textures in the PS2 graphics. It's like you can do PS2 graphics today and get away with it looking good if you know what you're doing, right? Because I've seen games where it looks like a PS2 game, but it still looks good. But that's
Yeah,
the thing is you
BattleBit right there. That's BattleBit got
ex-
huge, dude. It looks like shit, but the gameplay was there, so it got
exactly.
huge.
But
the
but
graphics
I'm
were
saying
good though. It was simple but good. But
yeah,
that was
and
my
that's
problem. It was
yeah,
like his
he
fucking
doesn't
shit
know how
was
to
not
do it.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he
like
doesn't know how to do it. You
his
need
whole
to know
post processing. It's like
yeah,
I've seen other games. I've seen H Hour. I've seen Task Force. I've seen all
mhm.
these games do it, and yeah, they had simple graphics, but the graphics were there. But it was like Force was like it was like, dude, what the fuck?
Like he just half-assedly put his shit together.
Like it was the whole thing was stupid, man.
It looked like
It's
a
really
game
fucking
from like
stupid. And I kept telling him he to
2012 or
update that shit.
2013. I don't even.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
a weird looking game.
And that's the
And
thing
the
is like
piggyback on your Ink Court stuff and Peak 53 stuff, it was
oh,
like he told me he got Peak 53 from some. He was on a call. He was on a. He just got back to Colorado. He was on the mountain called Peak, whatever the fuck. And I was like, dude, SOCOM means Special Operations Command. Like, what the fuck do you like? Peak don't even sound cool. And then Monarch is like, I meant to touch on this earlier. Um, the reason why he even switched to back to that Monarch stuff was because I told him in his Discord before he fucking deleted it that if he made that Fortnite shit, it's liable for lawsuit because you promised a SOCOM successor and yet you're doing Fortnite. So if you do that shit, somebody's gonna sue your ass. And he took that shit and was like, oh well, that's why he had to take an additional 6 months to make the game because he had to literally revert back to SOCOM because he literally threw it out all the way to go do that Fortnite shit.
Mhm.
yeah, that was another thing too. I'm glad you brought that up about that whole lawsuit stuff. Is because he was because he already had people paid basically to for that SOCOM successor, and he's going to switch the product on them and basically try to resell the game as something else. That I told him when he was trying to like price the game at I think $60. I told him that's not going to work. You can't price something that has no value like that. That's ridiculous. It's not AAA quality. This is barely like not even alpha build. What are you doing?
Yeah,
It, it,
yeah,
it
it really is tragic, dude. I know I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but I kind of feel bad because it's just I feel bad because I feel like I said before, he reminds me just of a little kid in a big pickup truck trying to. And I know there's so many different factors in it, but he's just too. And I hope he takes this. And he's offended. He's just too stupid to do anything right at this point. Where you know what, maybe I hate even say that. I don't want to say that because maybe he's not too stupid, but you know what I mean. It's just he tried to do something too big. He should have started out small, created uh a multiplayer game with like 4 maps and then focused on the actual gameplay. But instead,
yeah.
he created a game and he made like 20 different maps on a game that no one wants to play because if you throw a nade, it's like on 12 FPS and it doesn't even go anywhere. You know, like it's different things like that. It really
I
is.
I mean, I'll have to just disagree on that aspect though, just for the
Which I
fact that
love. I love.
no, I know. It's just for the fact that I've experienced many people like him. Like it's so many people that I can count more than on my hand.
I
And
have a topic, but go ahead.
and that's the thing. It's like I I can't give someone like for any kind of benefit of the doubt like that just because of my experience. And I guess you could say I'm a bit jaded on that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, you have experience in it. You're actually a game developer, and I can understand why you're looking at it in a different way because it does give you guys kind of a bad name. People are so hesitant to trust people because
Yeah.
here's four, calling himself a developer when he doesn't know anything about developing.
Bro, and
And
it's like on that whole aspect there. Oh, before I give it back to you, Target, is the whole Western developers are always looking like clowns now because of so many bullshit people like that, on top of bad modeling and all this crap. And it's like I'm trying to do my job to just like bring back what it means to be a Western dev. Like at least give us some type of like, you know, in the realm of that kind of sphere. Hey, look, United States games and Western devs in general, we shouldn't be looked at as clowns anymore. But for the past decade now, it's nothing but a clown show. And it's like, it's terrible that these bad actors have been just injecting their political beliefs and bullshit into the games and just affecting everybody negatively. Go ahead,
True. I
Target.
agree really, really quick on that, Skyboy, because you say a decade ago, and about the time when Mass Effect started coming out, and there was a few other RPGs. I think Dragon Age at the time. They actually took the title from JRPGs and
Mm-hmm.
Japanese developed games, and at that time, even with Fallout and Elder Scrolls, the Western development studios were looked at as now the higher anarchy of RPGs. Whereas if you go back to the 90s and early 2000s,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
JRPGs with Final Fantasy and all that. But it seems like it shifted back over to the Japanese development studios, who are not caving in to all
mm,
this
Exactly.
political
Yeah.
demand.
oh man, I could talk on that topic for fucking days. But but like, I understand with the Western, bro. Bro. We're gonna be here for a long time if we talk about that. But
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
for
here for the
another
long
time.
boat.
but fucking back to what I was saying earlier, dog. When the touch on your topics earlier, Skyboy, about about foreign his development stuff. Actually, that's how now I remember because I went on his site. I don't know if his site is still up, but I actually remember now. He actually marketed his game like that. When you go on his site, it was like, "Hey, this game is a SOCOM successor, and by the way, it's built in UE5." And it showed him in a good-looking map with good-looking graphics. So he marketed his game to have some next-gen graphics, and then when we actually pay it, for some reason he went back to PS3 graphics. I was like, okay, what changed?
Okay, so I can comment on that. So he did upgrade the graphics over time. There was a certain community event where he downgraded the graphics to sort of look like PS2 so that he can bring in more players at the time. But it was only a community event meant to keep players engaged until he released Monarch.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that he marketed his game to have next-gen graphics that use UE5.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
then
and
when
then
he made the
that's
game, it came
yeah,
out
it's
with
false
PS2
marketing.
graphics.
Yeah.
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 yeah, but he did upgrade it over
But
time, is what I was
he'll
saying.
argue that, hey, it is updated graphics because I'm using Unreal Engine 5. And regardless how, but that's how 4 is, dude. Regardless how it
Yeah, yeah,
looks,
yeah. He
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 only
was
he knows how to manipulate what he's doing and what it is.
yeah.
He knows how to do it.
He only manipulates people that's less smarter than him. I'm just putting that out now. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm not saying nobody else is stupid. I'm just
No, no, no.
saying
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
he's a
when it
very manipulative type of person because it's like that's just
I
more
mean, I don't think
tactics
it's not.
for
Yeah, it
a
doesn't have
person like
anything to do
that.
about smartness, dude. It doesn't have anything about. I'm not. Yeah, it's not has nothing to do about
No,
smartness. It
yeah,
just
yeah,
has to
yeah,
do
yeah.
about like, you could be a little bit gullible, but doesn't mean you're stupid. But also, some people are more trusting, and it just goes down to four. Never
He's just
trusted
playing
anybody.
on
That's
all
why he
that
treat.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he treated people like shit. He never trusted anybody. I guarantee he doesn't even trust Poppy. He doesn't trust anybody, and that's why he never made any good relationships. He burned every bridge that he's ever had because he doesn't trust people. And I know that, and I can say that because I was that. I burned every bridge I ever had 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago when I was first starting out on YouTube. I burned every bridge. I was territorial. I was aggressive. I took everything to heart. And that's why I can call 4 on his bullshit, because he's not growing up and he's also 35, 34. And if you're not going to learn from your mistakes at that age and you're still doing the same shit that you were when you're 29, then you're never going to learn. You
Yeah,
can't teach
he's
an
gonna
old
be
dog new
stuck on
tricks.
that.
Yeah, and if he ever
Yeah,
does change, it's only because he was forced to change. So he's not changed as a person. He just knows I can get more people to support me because I have to do it this way. He's never going to be
yeah,
a changed man. He's always going to be a shithead.
and
And
see
yep, and
the way I look at it, right? It's um like for me, I don't trust anybody because like I'm the same way. I don't trust anybody. But here's the difference.
I mean,
I
not anybody.
go
I mean, online, you got to like, yeah,
Oh no,
you
what
can't, yeah.
I mean online anywhere, like because like I was already taught at a young age, never trust humans.
I mean, I trust my
Nobody.
mama. I trust my dad.
Uh,
That's about
I
I have,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
not to
But
cut
let
nobody
me
off. I have
oh
two more.
mm,
I got two
okay,
more
go ahead.
topics, and then I'm gonna drop everything else. Cause
Yeah, because we're going on
yeah,
3 hours here
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah. All right, go
yeah.
ahead. I'm going on a tangent.
So the first one was Hippie Poppy actually wanted me to voice act some of they actually we talked about voice acting in his game, but like I said, for some reason the conversation was going good, and then all of a sudden they just dropped it. So I don't know what the fuck happened there. And then the second one was that it's also in my both of these topics actually. I have screenshots on it. So essentially, Hippie Poppy, well, three actually. I got three topics, but the second one was Hippie Poppy actually. She would like argue with people in the comics section about different things, and they would like roast her ass and get on her ass and stuff like that. And like she just like go to, I think it was Elite's server where they just get on. She was arguing at one point, but she was losing the argument and shit, and she was getting called out. And then the third topic I have is the final one was uh I think, not even think. One day I was in socomjohn server, and I was looking through who got banned and whatnot, and well, not who got banned. I'm sorry, and who enters and who leaves. And I've seen Hippie Poppy and I've seen four, and then I've seen Hippie Poppy and I've seen four in Elite server. So they was in both servers, right? So I did my investigation, right? Just fucking around, and I found out that they were actually essentially because that's how they got some of the information. I think Elite talked about it earlier how essentially they'd spy on people within their Discord, seeing what's going on, and they'd also have people from their Discord spying on what's going on, and then they'd report back to their server and be like, "Oh yeah, this motherfucker's doing this motherfucker's doing that."
Yeah, yeah. I literally just had to ban, or not ban, but kick out 3 people 2 weeks ago exactly for that. And what sucks is those 3 people I kicked out, I genuinely considered friends. I really considered them good friends, and I'm not gonna name them because I'm not gonna bring up more shit. But he people had Four was having those people who I considered my friends spy on me, and it only leads me to believe that he manipulated them and told them something or showed DMs of this and that, and he manipulates a lot of people to thinking you're crazy. But he doesn't come out and say everything because he knows that the best way to spread misinformation is to do it quietly and discreetly. And that's what he does. He'll like pull somebody aside who is friends with me and be like, "Oh, socom John did this. Oh, do you want to see this DM? Oh, do you know he said this?" And that's the salesman aspect, bro. He plays politics so well. He
Like
does.
the N-bomb situation with
I mean
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind
Joe.
of
He knows
goes
how to play politics, dude. He knows how to the ins and outs,
yeah.
how to make it seem like you're thinking of something, but really he is the reason why you're thinking that. You know what I mean? Like he implanted that message or that thought in your head, and he knows how to do that without that person actually knowing he did that. You know what I mean?
And
He'll
that
make you think that person's a piece of shit because everything he's doing, he manipulates everything. And sorry, you can talk now.
and that kind of goes back to my point of why his stuff doesn't really work with me because like I'm already coming at it with I don't trust anybody mindset kind of thing, and Like I said, I handle things like this. Business is business. I already know the other party has an other motive, whether it's ulterior or not. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
They have another objective. What I like to do with my anyone I work business with is whatever their objective is and whatever my motive is, let's work together to get both of them to work. And that's how I usually approach stuff like that, because I know everybody has their own objective. There's just the state of humankind. We always have our own motives, whether it's positive or negative for anybody, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna. That's why most of his manipulative stuff doesn't really work with me, because I just don't look at it that way.
I mean, and also, I mean, it kind of doesn't work with you because, I'll put it in a scenario where, say, Four is trying to be a NASCAR driver and you're already a NASCAR driver, so you know what to look for.
Yeah,
Well, it
yeah,
is where it's like you're a game developer, right? So he can't bullshit you. He can't say, "Oh, this is so hard," because you know how to create that. So he can't lie to you, and it's like you're looking at him where, "Hey, this is a little questionable. This is a little questionable," and he can't lie to you because you know how to do that. But it's so easy to lie to us, like that whole 80,000 lines of code or 40,000, I forgot what he said when he was screaming at John Wisdom. I thought if he said that to me, I created that many lines of code, I'd be like, "Oh shit, that's a lot." But then I see in the comments on the YouTube videos where people are talking about they can do that in a day with ChatGPT or anything else. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's hard because he deceives a lot of people because people don't know anything about game developing. Most people. That's how he
yeah,
was
that's
able to
true.
lie for so long.
Hmm.
And then anyone who was even like you, he would ban. He would have you on the project for 3 weeks, probably pay you for 1 or 2 jobs, and then ban you.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that's what because he knows that he's bullshit. He's like, "This guy knows I'm bullshit, but let's see how long I could drag this relationship out and make him sign an NDA." And then, that's what he does. So
Yo,
it
y'all
is
wanna
sucks too because I wanna play his game, but not his game now. But I wanna. It sucks because I did have a good
Idea.
time, bro.
Yeah, you
We did
wanted
have
that
I
idea
fun.
back.
Yeah, we had
I did have,
community
yeah.
nights all.
I'm not an asshole saying here like, I had no fun. I had fun, bro. That's why I made videos. I love the community for what it was.
And that's
But
the
like
thing,
I said
socom.
before,
The community made the game good.
exactly. Like the game could be
Yeah.
shit, but I had fun. But then you also realize that every update that he ever made the game worse, and that's what worried me. And it got to the point where it's like he even gave up on his own game. He didn't play the game for 5 months, and then that's when he banned Elite, banned me, and then decided to go to Peak 53 Monarch, and then he decided, "Hey, I'm
Hmm.
gonna make a spaceship game." He dropped a new trailer, and then when he got all the hate from that, he dropped that, bro, and when Elite finally came out, dropped his video, he kinda backtracked everything. He's like, "Oh, no, 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 it's not going to be space. Oh no, it's going to be, it's still a third person." No, it's what he does, dude. He's so good at marketing and salesman, but it's so easy to call him on all his bullshit. If you just, please, if you're listening to this podcast, just type in Peak 53 on YouTube. Just
oh
look
my
at
god.
the top videos that are there. And that's
Yeah.
really all you need to know. We're not lying because it benefits us. This benefits me in no way. I don't get any money from this podcast. I don't get any money for saying Peak 53 is good or bad. I'm just from a genuine person to another person. If you're listening to this, do not trust Four and don't trust Peak. That's really it.
Okay, well, we're
Ever.
really
Yeah.
talking about it while it's in the coffin, and like you said, it's the final nail in the coffin. So let's just get a last word from everyone, and let's call it a night, and
Well, I
never
was
mention
gonna
it
say,
again.
yeah, I was gonna say let Target finish up with whatever last bit he was doing, because I know we've been stepping over him for an
Yeah,
entire
honestly,
time.
Target, you got the floor, brother. Speak your truth. And then if we could go, I'm not trying to take a hold of this, but if we can do like Lizard, Skyboy, me, and then Stealthy, you could close it out.
Sounds good.
All right,
Dope.
brother. I appreciate it.
And anybody, shit, we can, I mean, if y'all have the time or want to, we could talk a little bit after.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm down to chill after. But
I
honestly,
Hell
speak your
yeah.
truth, brother. I'm not gonna interrupt you. Just speak it all, man. Let's put this fucking nail in the
but I
coffin. The
will have to
last goddamn
go
nail.
myself because I got work
We know
tomorrow.
you're working the streets. Yes, we know.
It's
Gotta be up early.
almost
Shave the
2.
legs. We know, brother.
You know it.
But yeah, bro, it's this honestly we've spoken a lot of things, but but I guess the stuff, the small stuff I'll get into. So essentially, I tried to join the community because that's my whole thing was, I tried joining the community and I was like, hey, bro, you know, because I was thinking from a standpoint, because I looked at the SOCOM documentaries. I know a lot about the military. I know the history. I know the fucking guns. I know everything about everything. And I was like, dude, you know, SOCOM is SOCOM because, a lot of people don't want to admit it, but because of the single player. That's what made it. That's what dropped it on the map because of it was an immersive campaign with what Navy SEALs actually done. And I was like, dude, let me help you do this because if you at least going to do the multiplayer ports, you have to drop authentic guns. You have to put in authentic gear. You have to put in the maps that make sense. He didn't want to listen because of all of that. It was he felt like he was above everybody, and he just the fact that he treated everybody like absolute shit, people who supported him. And I was warning people. The biggest problem that I have with the community, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I was at odds with the community because I would be telling people, "Hey, bro, like you need to reevaluate what y'all doing." Four is clearly not listening. He's not putting in the feedback. He's not fixing no bugs. He's not doing any of that. And people, well, it was actually with the help of Four, because Four would be like, "Oh, that guy's he's just a crazy motherfucker. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's always constantly screaming." It's like, dude, what?
He
And,
tried to paint you like a drug addict, bro. He was like, "Oh, that guy's just on something. He's just yelling," and that's why everyone kind of took your 2 cents and they automatically discredited you, which sucks because I mean that's the control he had, dude.
and I don't even do
He abused
drugs.
his power. That's what I'm saying. Like he abused his power, dude. He just anyone that was against him, he would just be like, "Oh, that guy's crazy. That guy's on something." Lo and behold, Four's the one pounding fucking bottles of vodka like it's Gatorade. But it's crazy. It's an ass calling somebody else an ass. Four was just self projecting the whole time, dude, onto everybody. That's why he thought people were after him. That's why he thought people were moving against him when they weren't, because he's just putting his own personality into other people.
Exactly. And he would never ever get. His game dev is over. He'd never get any kind of fucking support whatsoever. Like the truth is out, it's over. Like ever. Like he
But it
won't ever
sucks.
get
I mean,
anything.
100%, like his name now, he can't make a video game with his name ever again. But I guarantee you, dude, he's gonna come out. He's not gonna learn his lesson. It's gonna be 2 years from now. He's gonna try another stupid ass game, and I hope it just fails.
Different studio name, you think?
I think a new name entirely because it's not like he makes content. It's not like he has to like hold on to the name Four. It's a dumbass name anyway. He could
About
literally
Dirty
change
Bird?
his name. I mean, even that, dude. When I hear Dirty Bird, I think of a dirty, you know what, dude. I think of a dirty
That just
hog, dude. Like
reminds
it's
me of whenever I hear that, it just reminds me of that poor multiplayer hero shooter, Dirty Bomb, that failed miserably.
I just whenever I hear Dirty Bird, I think of a 12-year-old that was asked to, hey, what do you if you had to name a game development company, what would you name it? Dirty Bird Games. And that's what I feel like it's like him, dude. Like it's like
It sounds like
it's like
he's gonna do you dirty.
Well,
So
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
ask ChatGPT, hey,
yeah,
what should
yeah.
my game development name be? They're gonna tell you Peak 53 and call it Dirty Bird Games. Like it's the stupidest thing ever. He didn't put any thought into his name. Even four, like what does four mean? Four-leaf clover? You're not lucky. I know it's not that. So I don't know what
I
the
four
mean,
fuck's
different
going on.
Patreons. He scammed you 4 times.
yeah.
Four different
It's a
Snapchats, dude.
number of
Four different
scams.
yeah, that's the number of filters he uses on his Snapchat photos so he can post it on the freaking story, dude.
Oh
Like
God, I saw that.
I get it having a Snapchat. I mean, maybe I get it, but if you're a 30 plus, 40 plus, and you have a wife or a girlfriend and you have a stepkid, get the fuck off Snapchat. And if you're gonna have a Snapchat, don't post a kissy face with a filter and your nipple showing and you're
Oh
in
god,
bed, dude.
dude.
Like,
You're a
like
fucking 35-year-old
no,
man. What the fuck you doing?
that's what I'm saying. That's the stuff you keep to yourself. Put it in the drafts if you need to and look at it. Just don't fucking post it. But that's what we're dealing with, dude. Is the mindset where he's doing things that a 25-year-old would do. And that's kind of, if I had to say one thing that's his biggest downfall, is he wasn't mature enough to start a project like this. And if I had to simplify it all, it would just come down to maturity, and that's it. Maturity and
Yeah,
laziness, but mostly just maturity, because he faked it pretty well until he opened his mouth, and that's when people realized it was bullshit.
exactly. And I agree. And on that fucking point with all that, was that the fuck? What else was I gonna say? Oh, it slipped my mind.
I think
Fuck.
we're on Exhibit A, Part 2. Okay, okay.
What I can add to that is that when Elite mentioned Dunes, his first game, he interviewed someone he knew personally, and they even had a fallout and went their separate ways. So from the beginning, it seems like it was a common thing.
Yeah, which, you know, I hope he gets the help he needs. I'll just say that, because I was in that scenario. You're burning a lot of bridges. You're doing things that you kind of regret. Maybe you're abusing a little bit of the alky. But I hope he just pulls his head out of his ass. I don't want to see him fail at life. I want to see him good. I want to see Poppy good, but he doesn't belong in the gaming industry whatsoever. I hope he just realizes that and calls it quits. And maybe it's time to focus on the family and less on creating drama online.
And actually, yep, exactly. And now I remember, if anybody even made it this far, or if how still whatever, just if you're gonna make a SOCOM project, I heavily recommend that you get either a veteran involved or you get somebody who's a military enthusiast so they can be your advisor because that's what makes SOCOM SOCOM. Second, get people who are passionate about games and actually will take the time out to make it. We've had far too many people who've made far too many projects and they were hated by all pieces of shit people, including the person of Zipper Interactive himself. We need to be
Hmm.
careful out here, and we actually need to, in my opinion, the best way to even go about another SOCOM remake, because Sony, let's be honest, they have their hands full with other shit. They're too busy making stupid ass games like Concord. So, fucking, if y'all want to make it happen, we have to get together. We got to get in a group. We have to get passionate people. We got to get veterans or military enthusiasts. We need to get people who played the damn game, number one, and we need to sit down, have a conversation. Okay, this is how we're gonna do it. This is how we're gonna do it. You act up, you're out of here.
Yeah. Bro, honestly, to ride on that, I feel like if someone, especially if you're indie dev, if you're a AAA studio, maybe you can get away with talking about SOCOM before. But if you're an indie developer and you want to create something that's SOCOM related, for the love of God, don't mention SOCOM. Prove that it's SOCOM related by the gameplay and the work you put in. Don't say I want to do a SOCOM game, because I'll tell you what, the SOCOM community, we are savages. We will chew you up and spit you out if you're doing anything wrong. And if you mention SOCOM, we expect the game to be like SOCOM. So you're better
Especially,
off.
yeah.
What are you saying?
Oh, especially if you call yourself a successor.
Yeah, exactly, bro. He probably could have had a good game if he didn't ever mention SOCOM. And I don't mean a good game as in good. I mean, he might have lasted a little longer than he had.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're an indie developer coming out 2024, don't mention SOCOM. Listen, we're SOCOMers, and if we watch the gameplay and it looks like SOCOM, we know that it looks like SOCOM. You don't have to say it. Don't dig your own grave before you even start, because if you come at us with any sideways bullshit, you're going to get called out. So also, that another thing, you better have hard skin if you're going to come out here and try to be a game developer. You can't be soft. You can't fucking freak out if people are going to call you out or to try to just tell you, "Oh, this is wrong with your game. Oh, you should update this. You should do this." You need to have thick skin. You need to be financially set. You need to be uh not be insecure. You need to be just set with yourself and trust yourself, but also listen to the community, but have a hard skin, dude. You can't be soft because that's what happened with Ford, dude. He let everything get to him. He was his worst enemy. If anything, Big Fry helped people look at his game. Big Fry made people look up Peak 53 and try it. There's no such thing as bad publicity, but people can tell when you're throwing in this mumbo jumbo and you're not being sincere. People can tell that, especially us, bro. Because, like you said, SoCommers have been through the thick of it. We have literally had, what is it, David Sears, I think is his name, the guy who created SOCOM or was one of the main producers or whatever it is for SOCOM. We've had that guy lie to us, steal 250K from us to create H Hour and watch it fail. So if you're going to come out here, don't mention SOCOM. Prove yourself with the gameplay. Don't prove yourself with a bunch of words and successor and SOCOM and all that. We can tell if you're sincere with the gameplay, and we can tell if we want to support it through that.
Yes, and most importantly, innovate. Take what made SOCOM, make it in a way that is fun, or make it in a way that is its own unique take too.
But honestly, I don't think it's like you have to make SOCOM fun. I agree with you, Target, but I also agree with what Skyboy said. You know, if you're going to come out and try to make a SOCOM successor, don't make gameplay changes. Give me quality of life improvements. Give me more customization options. Give me a map creator like Halo Forge has. Give me I want the
Right.
ability to be a girl. I want to be a Jamaican. I want to be a Chinese man. I don't care. Give me all the customization options in the world. Make the ability to create clans. Uh, these are things that should be implemented. And like Skyboy said, if you're going to do a successor, it has to be quality of life improvements. You can't change the gameplay because then it's not that game.
Right.
It's something else. And if it's
And
something
that's
else, that's cool, but call it
it,
that, you know?
yeah, and that's the thing is like to finish that off, it just depends on what you're trying to market the game, right? Because like if you're running up the flagpole and scouting at the top of the mountain saying you're a successor, people expectations are one way, and if those expectations aren't met, you're going to get negative feedback like that. That's why it's best that if you're going to do innovation, then don't call yourself a successor. Call yourself
Yep.
whatever you're trying to make is new and unique. And you can bring quality of life change. Like basically, you have to look at it like this: if you're going to be a successor, just pretend that you're taking where the game left off and just add things to the game systems. Add features that refine what was already there. Just make it even more solid than back then. Because to be very honest and stuff, back then, that's the best that they could do because of the limitations of the engine. It doesn't mean that that's it. We have to do it one for one. We can't go forward. No, just go from
100%.
that
I mean,
point on, right? Go from that point on. We're on Unreal Engine 5 now. So
they
it's like,
created
yeah, we have
SOCOM
the
on
technology.
PCs that were big as cars, dude. Like PCs
Exactly.
were huge.
So
They didn't
there's
even
no
have YouTube
yeah,
out when they
there's no
created SOCOM,
excuse
dude.
now. Yeah, there's no excuse now for people to do something like that now.
And please make a single player. If you're gonna make a successor, make the whole
Yup.
damn game.
And if
I
you're gonna
I'm
agree.
do single
tired.
player,
Yeah.
hire my boy Target to be the main protagonist. All right, come on, you hear that voice? My voice, you sound like you're fucking 100 years old, but in a good way, dude. You go like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Target. Yo, what's up?" You got that deep voice, dude. We need that, and I feel like Four missed out on that, dude. Like he
Sounds
had
like
people
Spawn.
like That's what he's. It sounds like deep. Like that's a Marine, bro. Like frag out. Like fucking, man down. That type of shit. Like, and Target offered to do voice work, and Ford just shat it down the tube and had his girlfriend do.
Oh yeah, no, I got
HQ is here. Well, this is HQ asking for this. We don't want to
I
listen
got a
to
lot
some.
of stuff. I got a lot of stuff we could talk about after the podcast because there's so many so many juicy topics right now in my head.
Oh, I'm
Stealthy,
here for it.
how easy was this podcast, brother? All you had to do is just sit back and let the fucking floodgate open, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing about having you guys on the podcast. I know already Skyboy, he can tell a story really well. So I didn't have to write any scripts for today for both podcasts that were recorded, and I'm actually
Oh
gonna
Yeah.
yeah.
release this first
I do have
because
a sensitive topic I'm gonna talk about it when we're about to end though. Stealthy, if you can just kind of remind me before we end, I want to talk about I think you know what it is too.
okay, sure. Well, we're kind of at the end here, so I'd like you guys to put in the last word because I'm running
Okay.
about at 2 a.m. in about 12 minutes,
Yeah, it's
and
2 a.m.
we're
for
at
me.
3 hours and 24 minutes of record time.
All right.
Got you. Well, on that note,
Lizard, do you have anything you want to say for last words? And I'll go last because I definitely need to.
it's cool. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on the podcast. I really did need to get my shit cleared out because it was bothering me for the longest. And, you know, passionate about games. Know a lot about the military and stuff. Obviously, voice and all that. Like, if you having projects and all that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, feel free. I can do the voices, voice acting. No problem. And also, just don't if you're gonna make a SOCOM successor, don't do what four has done. All right, just don't. But gaming is already going down the drain right now, both in the triple A and indie. Well, actually, indie game space is actually just stepping up, but the gaming in general is it's going down the tube because of certain people. But other than that, good to be here. Happy to be here. Thanks, for the voice.
All right, Skyboy, and thank you as well, Lizard. It was a pleasure having you all on here, Lizard, Skyboy, socomjohn, and even Elite, who had to leave earlier. Like, I'm not some big time YouTuber, and I'm actually not trying to be. I'm sort of like you, socomjohn. I'm just trying to chill.
Doing it for fun. I
Yeah,
appreciate that, bro.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I've attached to this interview process, and I do want to continue it. And I do have my main job, so I don't rely on this. And I am making a game as a passion project, and I am using AI as placeholders. But you're definitely right, Lizard. You don't want to use that as your main. You don't want to release with that. You want to upgrade from that, and that's what I'm gonna do. But let me give Skyboy the floor, and then socomjohn. But that's all I had to say, other than thank you guys so much for being on here. But go ahead, Skyboy.
Oh well, I'll just keep it short. And yeah, just it really just comes down to understanding who you work with. And I mean, I mentioned this in another podcast, but hey, you know, stuff happens. Just be careful who you work with, read contracts and stuff like that, and uh, you know, it play my games.
And never do work for free. Like,
Yeah,
If
never
you're
get
good
hired
at
for free.
something, never do it for free.
Yeah.
all right, so
All right.
come, John.
All right, so I'll touch briefly on it. So I know, and a lot of people listening to this, you may have heard of me, may have not have heard of me. I'm not a big YouTuber at all either. But if you have heard of me, you've probably heard of a lot of accusations, probably heard of a lot of speculation, probably have seen a lot of screenshots because I mean apparently everyone has a SOCOM John folder nowadays. But I just urge you, bro, if you're listening to this, I welcome anyone to DM me, add me, get to know me. And if you have any questions about what you may have heard, I'm more than willing to explain my side of the story for things, really. And, make your own judgment after that fact. But please don't make your judgment about me or how I am based on a couple of stories. I'm a man before I am a content creator, so I make mistakes and I know that. But I figure I just say that. And then also with Peak 53, I hope you all really thought about what we've said tonight. I know we've rambled on for a long time, but that's just because we're passionate about it. And that's how easy it comes for us to talk about these things because everyone in this Discord and this podcast episode tonight, we love SOCOM. We love the community. We love doing what we do. And that's why we're here. We're not getting paid for it. We're just doing this out of basically a hobby. And so there's no reason to think we're lying because we have no motive to lie to you guys. We're not the owners of Peak 53. We're not going to get money if you hate it. We're just trying to tell our story. And if you want to hear more about it, you know, feel free to join the Discord, Stealthy's Discord, ask any questions you have. And then also, Stealthy, I want to thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being on the fence with stuff. And I know some people can take that where, oh, you're on the fence, you're not choosing a side, that's bad. You know what? I understand it. Where you're giving everyone their voice, you're letting people talk and speak their opinion, and you're letting people rebuttal also. And I appreciate you inviting me. Lizard, I appreciate talking to you. Elite Killer, you were awesome per usual, brother. I know we've had our differences, and people can probably tell that in the beginning when we butted heads, but we nobody in this Discord, we never hold any animosity towards each other. That's what I do know. Because real men, real people can talk to each other, have discussions, change their minds, stay open-minded, and remember at the end of the day, we're all people, we make mistakes, and just make sure you know the full story before judging. And that's really it.
I appreciate that, socomjohn, and you're welcome on here anytime, as well as Target and or Lizard and Skyboy and Elite. There's
All right, hold
plenty
on.
of
I got
discussions.
one thing I want to ask Elite to do.
Oh.
Hold on. No, it's not Elite. It's Target. Hold on, let me see.
So
Hold
wait,
on.
is it Lizard or Target? Is it now Lizard?
It's now Lizard, yeah.
Okay, so
But
no more
Target, Lizard, it doesn't matter.
You'll always be Target to me, my brother.
That's cool to me.
Yo, all right. One thing, dude. Are you in the Discord message chat with all of us?
Yeah.
All right. Can you say that quote for me, just so people can hire you for future games?
Hold on.
Give me your best SOCOM impression, dude, when you're singing this quote. And all my SOCOM fans, I know you know this quote as soon as he says it.
Clean up on aisle 5. Somebody just spilled their guts out.
Hell yeah. Sounded like Marcus Phoenix in this shit. Hold on. Gears of War. All right, brother. But I do appreciate you, Stealthy, Elite, Skyboy. It was a pleasure per usual, bro. I hope we can do this again. I really do.
And we'll sign out with that. Thank you.
Later.